Everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the next, or I guess the current, single-stream Galactic Conquest in Fall of the Republic version 1.2. As usual, this is the result of a donation goal being reached, so thank you to everyone who donated. We are actually very close to the next one as well. And following this one, I might actually do the next donation goal is like building a Lego set on stream or something. So if we hit this one, anything above the donation goal is going to go towards the next one, which will probably be building a Lego set live on stream. Which it's more for me than I don't know how much people want to see me do that. I'm gonna hope some do, because then I can do that. But yeah, so we are gonna be playing in Fall of the Republic 1.2 as the Galactic Republic. This is not the stream is not an April Fool's joke. That would be stupid. Any April Fool's jokes that we do for like the last 10 years has been real announcements. So announcing things on April Fool's Day so that some people think it's fake and then don't pressure us about those mods as much. But it's it's so dumb. I hate April Fool's Day. I don't know if it's because I'm 30 now and it's more annoying than when I was 29. I don't know. But I've definitely found myself more annoyed than I was before. Like, it didn't bother me that much before, but now it's like I wanted to delete the internet. Partially because I couldn't sleep last night, so I was on my phone. It was like 5:30 a.m. trying to just like doom scroll through the internet for news or anything. And every site I went to, all over Twitter, Reddit, whatever, it was just the worst jokes. They're not even good. Thank you, Heavy Arms, for becoming a member for 17 months, saying, "Hey Corey, I skipped work today, honestly, just because I needed to be lazy, but it also means I can watch your stream live." Well, you made a choice. I'm not gonna say it's the right or wrong choice, because that's your choice, but really the right choice. But let's go with the Galactic Republic. We're gonna do Foros campaign on Admiral. But I am hopefully going to be doing a Galactic Republic, like a full playthrough, or a Galactic Republic or CIS, I'll have to do a poll, in the near-ish future. So we'll keep it to one of the shorter ones for today, and then that'll probably be what we do after Zinj is done, or the Haven one. I think Zinj is going to be done first, but thank you, Civil Alexis, for becoming a member for 4 months. At work now, but on lunch. And for the $20 donation. Thank you very much. Hope you are enjoying your lunch. Let's enjoy some Fall of the Republic. So, this is pretty close to the release build. I'm actually in the dev build right now, which is a little bit past what the release build is. But not super different. Just some like text fixes or XML fixes. But we are going to want to move some fleets together, and I'm going to let them integrate. We're going to go other places. Yeah. Because we're getting close to the release of Thrones. That's not why I'm focusing the game the way I am right now. Let's build a trade port there. We're getting pretty close to the release of Thrawn's Revenge. I posted the video announcing the release date yesterday, which is going to be April 21st. So that is also not a fake thing. So April 21st, Thrawn's Revenge is coming out, and then we're going to be moving on to proper Point 3 development, which is going to be the first release we have of Revan's Revenge as well. So that will be cool new stuff. So we've got, so the plan for Revan's Revenge, which is our Old Republic era mod, Knights of the Old Republic, is to drop a bunch of enemies in. But we want to have 5 ground vehicles, or like ground vehicles, secondary infantry types, whatever. 1 main infantry type with whatever like variations on loadouts. and 5 space units plus like 2 or 3 fighters per faction. And we are at pretty much all 33 of the non-fighter ones. There's like 3 models to do that aren't fighters or like hero units. And like most of the ground stuff is done. All the ground stuff is modeled, I think. All but 3 of the space units are modeled. So it's really moving along. You're gonna see a lot more of Revan's Revenge once we hit Point 3's development. Why does the Republic start off so much more powerful? They don't really start more powerful than the CIS. It's similar amounts of planets for each, similar amounts of forces. If you factor in the sub-factions, then I think the CIS comes out slightly on top. We can check the charts as well. But... yeah, Father Raptors in chat right now has been just really plugging away at the Revan's Revenge assets. So he's done pretty much all of the ground stuff. So he's saying all ground vehicles are modeled, all but 1 are textured, which is the... no, Baragwin's I'm not sure which one's untextured right now. Tank droid? No. There's Sky.
Sir, we've searched the site. We're being overwhelmed. We have to pull out. Ready for command. Preparing assault salvo. Their reinforcements are taking
I think we want to hit that bulwark first. Let me just like focus everything down on the Lucre Hulk. You guys can come up. We don't need to worry about too much of their other stuff right now. We've got pretty good fighter superiority.
We'll win this fight, no problems.
Ow, was it something I said? Yeah, now you got it.
Okay.
Incoming transmission from the command center. Yes, General.
We're getting a little bit of damage from these guys, but I think most of the units aren't being focused, so I'm just going to do powered weapons on everything I can right there, and I'm going to switch the Invincible back to the Bulwark after. Because then we'll be able to punch through the shields. So you're pulling from tails for ground vehicles. Yeah, there's the... like with anything we do, there's basically anything's fair game. There's some stuff from tails. Droid models from KOTOR. There's like some vehicles from like concept art for later stuff that we're probably using as well. Later stuff is in units past the first 5 per set. Right. Let's make sure we have all these hangars down. You are mostly heavy turbo, or mostly the ion cannon. So I'm gonna get an ACK on each of the heavy turbo lasers, and go for the for the recusant next to.
All power diverting to weapons. Sabotage their vehicles. Reading you.
Performance is a bit worse today than it usually has been.
Let's go. Their reinforcements are taking casualties.
Alright.
We're depleting the separatist reinforcements.
Star Wars Tor have its own GC or just KOTOR? So we might eventually have some Tor focus content. That would be its own Galactic conquests.
This is the captain. Locked on target. Missile destroyer.
If we absolutely had to, we would do a standalone mod for it, but we probably don't have to do that. Probably easier to not do that.
Moving to attack.
But the content for those would be segregated.
Got you on the comm. We have to pull out. Open fire.
I don't think they're going to try to go anywhere yet, because they still have a good amount of stuff back here from the shipyard. But I just want to make sure that they don't get the Lucre Hulk anywhere out of here.
Missile destroyer reporting
So make sure those engines go down.
Silent.
In arcs, you can still stay on some anti-fighter duty there.
Perimeter, sir. Ready to deliver. I'm under attack. I copy.
Alright. I don't think we've actually lost anything just yet.
This used to be a judicial ship.
You can come in, Charlie.
Sir, all stations ready. Let's go. Move it, soldier.
Actually, I should send the arcs back closer to our units,
This is Beta Squadron reporting in.
because we can keep the NTPs up here.
We're all set here, Commander.
Tempest.
Yes, sir.
We mostly just have bombers left.
We must right away. Watch your sides. Tri-fighter, ground him. Your orders?
The Torrents can eventually kill all those bombers that are coming for us, but I'd rather do it faster.
Give me a target. They're not so tough.
Yeah, SPHAT, if we ever did it, would be more of like a building than anything.
Captain
It's
here.
gigantic. It doesn't fire properly at ground. Like, the way it's set up isn't really
Sir,
great for hitting ground
command
units.
center. Reading you.
See the galaxy. They
It's not a likely inclusion for
Heading for attack coordinates.
much.
Our backed packs will regenerate us.
Will there be a video showing the new death clones in Tom's Revenge? I hope to do one. I've been planning on doing one for a while,
Your flank.
but
Our troops have been
it's a lot of footage to grab.
Hold your position.
There's been other stuff that's been kind of taking priority, because I wanted to do one in like December.
All right, all stations ready. We have a lock. Bail out. Initiating combat protocols. We're all set here, Commander. We're all set here, Commander. Good shot. This is the captain.
Alright. This is
see the galaxy.
hopefully the last set of things they're going to be able to get in.
Ready for
I'm
command.
going to start moving the Invincible towards that goal and
Yes, General.
also move some of the Venators up, because we're basically going to be
Commander.
coming into them all at once.
Entrance should be open momentarily. Missile
And
destroyer
we want
reporting
these
in.
X
Targeting
and those
enemy.
diamonds. It's like cheese, you get an ACK diamond.
Battle stations. Incoming.
Thank you, Dunk Anya, for the 10-pound donation.
Critical.
Glad you're enjoying the content.
All stations ready. Pull out. Copy that. Attack that target. The missiles will tear us apart. You're just going down. Moving out. We're gaining on them.
Okay, that's
Locking on.
all gonna fall apart pretty easily over here.
Sir, we
These...
searched the site. Destroy the
We might actually be better off going for the shipyard with our bombers right now.
Transmitting the coordinates to you now. The entrance should be open momentarily.
Is the Fantail class in the mod? Not yet.
Ready to deliver. Main
Wait,
cannons
fight.
charged.
Where they at?
This is the captain.
Trying to use the SPHAT as like the turbo laser emplacement for the Republic wouldn't solve any of the problems of using it as a unit. It's still too gigantic, the firing still doesn't work properly. It being like multiple places on the map would just, they'd fill the map.
Good shot. Good work. I can't do that. Take down that bomber. Negative, sir.
Alright, let's see if he wants to live.
Corvette here.
If he doesn't, I don't care. There's more command staff for him.
Infantry.
Negative, sir. Engaging. Take out that interceptor. Aye. Take out that fighter. Hold up.
Are there more bombers around, or just those ones that are already being
Provide cover.
hunted?
Enemy detected. We've lost a squad member. Watch your flank.
Okay, I don't think they'll be able to get to him. Tracta.
Yes, Admiral.
Let's start getting to the shipyards.
All stations ready. Initiating combat protocols. Watch your flanks. You've got company. Take down the traitor. Sir, all enemy units approaching from
His health should, or his shield should start coming back.
We vectoring to the enemy. Yeah, now you got it. Now that's how it's done. Battle stations. Locked on target.
A lot of diamonds still over there. They're not hitting the bombers.
This is Beta Squadron
I
reporting.
just need to make sure they don't get in to try to kill Tracta.
Taking the
Because they
offensive.
probably could.
Missile destroyer here.
might be small.
You guys get over there. And we still haven't lost any other units.
Missile destroyer reporting in. Sir, we've lost you on the sensors. We'll hold this position until you return.
There we go. Now you can head over to the station. Oh, they have some transports here, so that's some ground units they want to lose too.
All stations ready. Targeting enemy. Ready to deliver.
Star cruiser here.
Well, this is his trace. He's tier 3, which is really good. And cautious, which
Destroyer here.
I can't remember if it's got any negatives to it.
Missile destroyer reporting in.
So he's got a good bonus.
Look out.
Thank you, obligatory stream pun for the 1641 donation, saying, how do you turn a pelican into a soul singer? Put it in the microwave until it's built.
We've lost a squad member. All stations ready.
Thank you very much.
We are under attack. Requesting air support. Ready for attack orders. We're all set here, Commander. Missile destroyer here. Issue a command. We should stay clear. Sir, missile destroyer reporting in.
What happens if the $750 goal is completed? Then we're doing another single stream Galactic Conquest in April, and anything past that will go to the Lego building stream, which would be another $750
Good shooting, sir.
for April. Also called the Pay Corey's Rent Fund. And I do count the super chats towards it; they just don't show up in the thing, so I can mentally do the math for that.
Destination set.
Follow me. Move forward. Follow me. Move forward.
Okay. I'm just gonna combine a lot of these because I want to take Walter as soon as we can.
Get ready to move in.
On my way, sir.
And that'll cut them off from each other. Okay, the Black Wolf. No, I didn't get the Lego Titanic. I'd get a Lego Star Wars set. For stream purposes. The Lego Titanic is just so damn expensive. And we're trying to save for a house at some point in the next 2 years. So being able to afford that would be
Squad. You see metal, you shoot.
a bigger issue. Oh, thank you, Garrett, for the $5 donation, saying, doing good, Corey. Also, always glad to see you playing Empire War, seeing as Ek doesn't play anymore.
Coming in fast.
I think Ek and Charlie are going to play with the new releases. When Thrawn's Revenge comes out, I know Ek's been planning on doing a New Republic playthrough, because that's what he always does.
Hey, check your map.
But
Move in. Like we drilled. Go.
he's definitely burnt out on EAW over the years. And I think the stream we did in the Mass Effect mod for Skirmish just killed his a lot of his EAW desire for a long time. Barracks is not in a great position for them.
Get ready to move in.
I'm gonna kill that.
That was something.
Fall back and take out that. Then I think we'll want some new labs.
Get ready for attack. Closing range. Move forward. Got the sniper.
All right. It looks like it's just the infantry at the field base right now. So we should be able. You know what? Just stop that before the reinforcements come. Barks, you can handle that.
Ready.
UTAT up there. Thank you, Heavy Arms, for the $2 donation, saying this GC seems really easy. Well, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier with the prior message. Of it's pretty even on starting forces, maybe a bit CIS skewed once you factor in the sub-factions. It's definitely not the most difficult GC as either of them, though. Like, the Republic starts a little bit more connected, but they still have a few completely isolated planets, which are a bit easier for the CIS to take. Whereas the Republic, you can cut, like, major parts of the CIS forces in half, but you'd still have those two halves to deal with. And also, thank you, Clam, for the $50 donation saying, "This Republic doesn't look like it's falling to me. What is this, some kind of April Fool's joke? I want a refund of the money I paid to Canon." Okay, I'll issue that as soon as I'm done here. Thank you very much. You don't get that money back unless you want it back. Very appreciated, all of you.
Right away. Commencing attack.
I think, actually, that one from Clam put us over the next goal, so it's all Legos from here on out. So I'll probably do like a poll of what Lego set people would want to see, Star Wars related. Of the ones that are like not $1 trillion, only many dollars. Hey, we actually still have some infantry left. Alright. Get over there then. I don't know if you can go through there without dying. Here, you gotta get up there. That's gonna be garrisoned. Come on.
Copy. Moving out. Heading out.
Oh. Alright, I think I need to just bring stuff in from over here. Come on, A6.
I copy. Fall out.
All the poor infantry are dead.
Yeah, take that. That was some droid.
What's the budget or size of the set you'd be interested in? I'd probably
Yes, sir. Let's
go up to $150
going.
Canadian. So like, I think that's what, $6 American. But okay, we should be able to turn around now. They're not coming any further than that, and we have the Juggernaut. Trying to run the UTATs. I mean, from the stuff it was running from towards an A6 Juggernaut, I think it'll work out. All I needed to do is get into a position where it's not going to immediately die. Alright, and I'm gonna put the commandos in. Hey there, Mark. How close to winning? I'm very close to winning. We've really blitzed this one. I'm thinking like 25 to 40 more minutes, and it's all done. Apparently there's like a free Master Chief Among Us skin, so we're definitely going to need to play some more Among Us soon. And I can see what I really wanted out of a Halo show. Master Chief running around in a spaceship trying to suss out aliens. Now we'll be able to take this. I don't know. I'm not aware of any LEGO TIE Defender sets. I've not really paid attention to LEGO set announcements other than the new diorama ones, like the Trench Run and Yoda's Hut. Those actually look really cool. They're kind of small, but they've got a lot of parts to them still. Like, I really like the Trench Run one. Come on, commandos. Be the commandos you want to see in the world. Okay, I can also just do this. Eh. It's here.
Y-wing squadron reporting.
Shield up.
And head to the next victory point. You know what? You can come back.
Yes.
Reporting in.
We've secured the landing zone. Form a wall.
Do they have anything still protecting this? They do have a bit.
I got you.
Roger that.
Go over to the side.
Support ready. Let's do this. Now we're even.
Form up. Destination.
Auto guns unlocked. Yeah.
Force Unleashed Lego set. I mean, that game still just annoys me whenever I hear the words
Fire ready.
pull them out of the sky or pull it out of the sky. Any combination of that.
Auto guns online. Lock it down. Going
You play the old Jedi Starfighter game on stream? Yeah, probably. I want to do a good chunk of the older games. Like, once I'm done Lego Star Wars, which comes out on the 5th, I think, then I'll probably get into some older games as well. Because Lego Star Wars is going to be the next, like, Tuesday and Wednesday stream game.
mistake. Closing range. You won't be more trouble.
I copy.
So we'll have a bit more variety coming in after that.
I've got you. Stay together.
Alright, stay back at the victory point. And we can snipe out another one of these.
Y-wing standing by.
We should clear the area.
I don't think they'll be able to stop that with any turrets. If they have any on the way there. I think I'm gonna do Mumble mode. It seems like the right way to go.
Auto guns online. Locked and firing.
Yes, Commander.
Watch those wrist rockets. More hostiles coming in. Stay on it. Shield deployed.
Reporting. As you wish, General.
Hey, gonna wrap up here first.
Alright, I think we got the plan now.
Hey,
Yes, Commander.
job's not over yet. Stay with the
Like, it's a smaller galactic conquest, but most of the planets are pretty well defended. So it's still pretty a pretty long one.
Ready.
I've never actually played Dark Forces 1 or 2.
Heading out.
As much as I loved Jedi Outcast
Let's move out.
and Jedi Academy, I just somehow never did it.
Let's go. Keep going. This way.
Yeah, you run away. You run away from my slow-ass unit. Okay.
The battle is ours.
Battle is ours.
Planetary control achieved.
That's gonna be a save. And since we hit that goal, change the one on the stream. I don't want your royalty-free music. Get out of here. I really hate Streamlabs. I wish I'd started with, like, Stream Elements or something. There. And it barely took longer than it took for the game to save. Yeah, like, a lot of those games end up not being, like, super duper long. So I'd probably be able to do them in a couple streams. All right, let's get a VSD on there.
Breaking comms
Move
out.
you up.
Enemy fleet approaching. Ready to face the
Please
enemy,
don't.
my liege.
Copy that, sir.
Crap. Yeah, they get Force Tonith because of the integration there. What are the actual force distributions right now? We have 52, they have 42. That's after we've destroyed one of their planets. And I'm not sure if it actually counts these guys for being in the other... Alright, well, that's a goal in one and a capital shipyard.
Reinforcements en route. At your command. Reinforcements en route.
There's no way we win this, but we might be able to stop them
Reinforcements en route.
a little
Got you
bit.
on the comm. Captain here. Reading you. This is the captain.
If we stay in the back with our actual units so we don't lose them.
On my way, Commander. That's the way it's done. Bomber incoming.
Which campaign is this? This is the Foros campaign.
Got you on the comm. Captain here. Reading you. This is Bravo 4. Reinforcements en route.
Like, we have pretty considerable garrisons. We have a good amount of bombers. We just don't have a hypervelocity gun, which is kind of sad. Like, I'd like to kill Ningo, because that's a good command bonus for them. Tonith is better, arguably.
Reinforcements en route. Awaiting your orders.
They're not getting any negatives from Risk Taker, though, right now.
Attack orders. At your command.
Because any of those negatives would
Ready to
be
commence. Awaiting your
overwritten by
orders,
Ningo's
sir.
bonus.
As you wish, Commander. Watch out. Attention. Clear the
So they're getting all positives right now.
area. Sir, incoming transmission from the command center.
Alright, let's see if we can send a run of bombers in.
Holding position.
I'm going to keep the NTBs back, because we won't get as many of them. The Y-Wings we're getting from a few places that'll respawn. You know what? It's not worth it. Stay back.
Spreading out. Ready for takeoff.
Standing by. Understood. We are moving out.
Staying pretty grouped up. We might be able to kill off some of their fighters before they get in, but it's almost all coming from Corpulentus. So it's gonna be more waves than we can really kill.
What's the order? What is it, sir? Right, sir.
There's no physical munitions that we're going to be point defensing other than the bombers. So we can
This is Beta
What's the
Squadron
order?
reporting in.
we can just focus on killing them.
Won't survive today.
Thank you, Granite Saber, for the $10 donation. Thinking, how does it feel that you single-handedly made me and my friends lose weekends playing your mods, and I know of 6 people who bought the UAW just to play your mods? Well, technically, not single-handedly. Like,
Moving in.
80-handedly,
Come on, you
all the
passed one
team.
ship for
So
us.
I can only feel so
Easy to
bad,
make
but thank you
another
very
Stand
much.
by.
boatloads.
Setting intercept course. This is Beta Squadron reporting in. Knock it off! This is the captain. What's the order?
I single-handedly told other people what to do to
Ready yourself.
lose other people their weekends. Are there hard cells? Yeah, there's a couple. Is the 2, 3 be there? 4.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Okay. That's good. That's a good amount of missiles that we'll be killing then. I feel better now.
What is it, sir? Ready yourself. For the Chancellor. And don't get
I do prefer to take all the credit though.
Reinforcements. Have a field. Standing by. Beginning attack run.
It's especially fun
They're not so tough.
getting other mod teams pissed off if I get mentioned in anything.
Got you on the comm.
That AC is
Ready for attack.
probably going to be able to recover its shields. We should be able to point defense away a lot of the munitions from another run from even this bubble up squad.
What is it, sir? Hail out.
It's really not that many Belba Labs that they're going to get out of it. It's what? It's 30 squadrons, but they're all going to be coming at once.
Staying on target is in full retreat.
Plus, like, swarm levels of stuff,
Setting
but
intercept course.
they're already double squads, so...
Republic light corvette responding.
Standing by. Sensors picking up an enemy squadron approaching up ahead.
Engaging.
Really more like
We're depleting standing by. Reinforcements.
the proportion of them on swarms to non-swarms. I forget how many Belba Labs it is.
We need you to clear the area in order to proceed. What's the order?
We've already done like 6, though.
Reinforcements. Their reinforcements are being depleted.
Did different EW mod groups get along? Some do, some don't. It's like, it's a large group of people whose commonality is that they're doing a hobby. So there's some shared interest there, but like, it's the same as any group of people.
What is it, sir? Woohoo!
Especially when there's like
No way.
a public element of people just directly comparing people's works, then that can lead to
What's the order?
rivalries or jealousies or whatever.
Let's show
I
these
copy that.
fools how it's done.
This is it.
This used to be a judicial
What is it,
ship.
sir? Right, sir.
If you could change one thing entirely about the AW engine outside of the memory issue, what would you guys think? I assume we're grouping in like being single core with that, because I think that's
Watch your flanks.
kind of grouped in with like limited memory and everything is an obvious one.
Cannons charged.
A lot of what I wanted for a long, like a lot of my default answers got addressed with the last DAW patch, the one last year. So I'm really happy with that. Currently, I'd really like it if they, like, there's an event, an XML event you can use that lets you load a campaign from within another campaign, which is what we use to load the different era maps right now. Which means that we're able to have like different planets per era if we wanted to. Before, we used to like load in the map, spawn all the forces in with Lewis scripts, and then that was it, which meant like you always have to have the same planet set in the same campaign. But the problem is,
Another one on my 6.
for some reason, the campaign, when you load it, takes it just defaults to normal difficulty. So that's why currently in Fall of the Republic and soon in Thrawn's Revenge, if you're playing a progressive, you have to set the difficulty after you're in game. Like, you can set it to Admiral in the original menu, but then once you go in game, you have to, it'll go back to Captain. So that'd be something that I'd really want to change, like being able to transfer information when you use the load campaign event, whether that's just them saving the difficulty setting, or even better would be the ability to keep global Lua variables, so we could pass information, like we could use that to load different maps while passing contextual information, rather than just like loading a fresh campaign entirely. So you'd be able to either completely set up forces based on what was going on in the previous map, be able to do like a lot of narrative stuff with that. That'd be nice.
Reinforcements en route.
Receiving message. Primary target acquired.
At your command.
Yeah, teams using other teams' work without permission is definitely
Transmission.
What is it,
one of the
sir?
more common causes of people not getting along.
Sir, sensors show us
Awaiting your orders,
enemy
sir.
starfighters heading toward us.
Sir.
Calls plotted. Ready for attack orders. I thought those were against the rules. Cannons charged.
Target at maximum firepower.
This is
I don't
Bravo
think we're really
We'll get him.
getting as much out of this battle as I'd hoped.
At your command.
Fire for maximum effect.
Let's blow something up. Shields are at half power. Awaiting your orders, sir. Sail out. I repeat. We'll crush those scum. We must turn back.
Standing by.
We must turn back. There's too many of them.
Will the Maelstrom be coming in the next update or earlier through month? We wouldn't hotfix in a new unit, especially one that we
Ready for attack orders.
don't have.
Sir, we need you to clear the area of all enemies. At your command.
I don't think we've ever done
Ready
that.
to commence.
Like do a hotfix for a
Awaiting your
specific
orders, sir.
unit. So it might be in point 3. There's no like
Ready for attack orders.
with Fall of the Republic in particular. There's no like
I'm
set units that have to be done for a particular release. It's just
At your command.
if it gets done, great. If not, then we're past the point where the rosters are
Awaiting your orders, sir.
require a specific unit to be ready for a release. Usually the releases are more focused on a type of content than a specific unit. It's only with like early releases of the mods or factions, particular factions that need certain things, that that release becomes contingent on that.
To commence. Bail out. Bail out. Our reinforcements have been cut off. One shot, one kill.
So like for the first release of Fall of the Republic, we needed certain assets, otherwise it just mod wouldn't work. But like with this release, there was the fighter reworks, there was a lot of the economic reworks. There was a bit more of a unit focus because we were doing the Hapens and all the Imperial reworks. But even with that, like Fall of the Republic didn't have any specific content that we like needed to do the release. If we'd gotten the Maelstrom, like if we finished the concept for the Maelstrom and finished a model and texture for it, it could have been in point 2, but it wasn't something that any of us did for that release, so it just didn't work out that way.
Tactical battle imminent.
And trying to like extricate certain individual units from the release that's being developed to put out in a hotfix and like make sure it works with the prior release setup and wouldn't screw up anything with like saves or anything. It would be a ton of extra work, so we don't like push out early content like that.
Calculating jump to light.
And someone asked earlier about when the first 0.3 streams will, or like preview streams will be coming. That'd probably be in mid-May, because I'm usually doing some kind of preview, but there won't be anything like major new content to see for a little bit. Maybe a few units, because there's a few things that were held off.
Tactical battle imminent.
But it'd be a while before you see like the main pushes for 0.3 content, which are going to be like fully changed Galactic Conquest. No, the Maelstrom isn't bigger than the Praetor. Praetor's gigantic. Maelstrom is much smaller.
Retreat in progress.
We have most of a concept for the Maelstrom. There's a few things that I need to change on it. It was never completely finished, but we haven't started a model or anything for it. Alright, let's see if we can defend this. We might actually be able to. That's not a horrible amount of stuff, and we have a lot of money. Let's see if we can grab some of these landing zones before they can. Go over there. One of you is gonna just go to that one, and the rest of you over here.
Follow me. Shield deployed.
Scanning infantry.
Secure the zone. Where you going?
Hold
trooper?
on that. And actually, I'm gonna send this this saber over to that direction.
Let's do this.
We got enough sabers on this side as it is.
Wired up. Go! I got your back. Turret constructing. Stay with me, all right? Feed it up.
You're over there.
Guns ready. Let's do this.
You're over
Come
there.
on.
Not 100% sure who I told to go the other direction earlier, so.
Yes.
So, AV, we'll do AI over on this side.
Aye.
Now,
Violating orders. End of the squad. I'm a hold up.
AI. Yeah, I think we're gonna be successful in stopping them from getting the landing zones.
Auto guns online.
PTRT's up there. That's always step one.
Hey, gonna wrap up here first. Starting kill
Okay, don't go too far up.
That's a hit.
And let's see if we can kill whatever field base they're building there.
Aw, you really do like me.
Armor's coming apart. Scout for sight. Scanning.
And we'll get military field base on that. Crap, I took all the infantry away from there. How hard is it to add your Patreon units? I'm wondering how hard it would be to make a custom hero, just name it, choose a ship, and apply traits, and maybe custom icon. It's not that difficult. I actually did a tutorial for most of what that would require a while back, where I showed how to add Ozzel as a hero. The patron units, like, the way I do them is actually automated now. I wrote a script to basically just take the information and export them. Oh, we're not going to get that landing zone. Take cover so you can stop them. It's the first landing zone down. They did manage to grab it. If we can stop them from freely taking the planet, that's something.
Good times. You're violating orders.
Yeah, it's its own video.
Wired up. Kicking my ass. Took a while. Someone take him out.
Yeah, I think we've mostly just got to try to hold this landing zone right now. There's not going to be much else we can do unless we can keep this one. Which, if I can get a bomb in there... Now focus on them. And let's get you... the infantry... infantry. We're gonna have 10 pop cap now. Yeah, they got all the landing zones. I think we're done now. No, they got a jail speeder. Okay. Well, we killed some infantry. Don't think there's much we can get there now. Too many units now. If I'd built the field bases earlier, then it would have been better. We should be able to take Achilles.
Missiles at the ready.
Heading for coordinates.
No problem.
And we should also get ready for Ojam, too. I don't think they can bring everything everywhere yet.
Tanker spotted.
The best units to start using until you get to, say, Venators? It depends what you're looking for. I did a guide on how all the different Republic units work and how to, like, structure your fleets. You generally want to have a mix, but you can... For the stuff the Venator's doing, you can use acclimators earlier for, like, the carrier capacity and some of the damage. If you want something tankier, then Invincibles are all really good. Like, build a bunch of Invincibles while you can, because they stop being available. So it's always nice to have a few that you can use throughout the rest of the game.
Got you on the comm. All lights agree.
How long have I been going for? We are 51 minutes in.
Awaiting orders. Captain
And we have gained one planet and lost one planet.
locked on target. Ready for command. Let's move this bucket.
At some point, if the Shadow Collective becomes part of the mod, with Devastation be it Super Civ, so cool. Devastation will be in the mod in some form in the future for the CIS. The Shadow Collective wouldn't be a viable faction for the mod. They don't have... Like, they don't really have a navy, they don't really control territory. The only really militarily relevant faction, or part of it, is that, like, they're associated with the Hutts. So the Shadow Collective, if they're included in any way, would be, like, story missions related to a Hutt faction, or just narrative stuff from that. They are not something that would work as their own playable faction.
Sensors picking up an enemy squadron approaching up ahead.
Like, anything, if... There's nothing wrong with people trying to make a pirate faction or whatever for mods. Usually what people do with other eras is turn them into, like, Clone Wars factions, though. And it's the Clone Wars already, so there's not really... You can't really do, like, oh, this is Clone Wars holdovers everywhere. Like, that's what people do for, like, the Black Sun if they're doing a Galactic Civil War later mod. Which we tend to stick with most of the actual galactic powers rather than trying to do that. So most relevant stuff we've already got and got different homes for. But for Fall of the Republic, for the Clone Wars era, if you're trying to make a Shadow Collective faction, you basically have to invent every part of it that's relevant for a playable faction. Like, any territory they'd have, you're basically pulling out of nowhere. Any units they'd have, you're basically pulling out of nowhere. There's nothing that they really bring to the table as a faction.
Move forward.
Let's try to take Ojam as well.
Tactical battle imminent.
That might be more than we can handle.
Pinged a hostile.
Cruiser, standing by. Choose your reinforcements. Copy that, General. Homing in. As you command.
How devious, my lord.
Alright, Victory Fleet.
On my way, Commander.
We're going
As you
full
wish,
4-Ross
Commander.
thematic.
Underway. Moving into position.
Accelerating now.
Dodana reporting in.
Like, if a faction can bring something unique to the table, there's a lot of allowances we'll make, and we'll design... If we know a faction had a roster, had a military, and it just doesn't show up very much in universe, but, like, there's definitely one there, then we're happy to like fill in gaps that exist. Like we've done that with the Empire of the Hand. We're doing that now with the Hapens. We're going to be doing that with other factions in the future. But there has to be some baseline there. Like if we're inventing the military and inventing the fact that they have a military, that's usually farther than we're willing to go. And if they're like a relatively small galactic power and we have to technically over-represent their planets for them to be viable, we do that sometimes too. Like proportionally, the Hapens would be smaller than what they'll show up as on the map, but they do control that territory. So there's certain baselines that they have to hit that like the Shadow Collective, the Black Sun, all those kinds of factions just don't have.
Jan Dodonna, sir. I'll report in later.
The war is ours. Targeting computer activated. Yes, General. At your command.
This isn't the best fleet comp that we have, but it's more than they have, so hopefully we'll be able to take out some of their fighters with what they got here.
Locking on.
Or their bombers with the fighters we have.
Missiles at the ready.
Dodonna reporting in. I'll report in later. Jan Dodonna, sir.
Ready to commence. Cannons charged. Your orders,
Jan
General.
Dodonna, sir.
Ow! What is something? Ready for orders, Commander. Bomber right behind you. Taking them out. Copy that, General.
I'm here. Orders confirmed.
That's good. We've mostly got them down. We do have a few of the... Oh shit, what are they called? Customs light corvettes. With some extra anti-fighter.
I may be slow, but I pack a punch. Cannons targeting. Missile tubes loaded.
Yeah, a lot of the icons have been changed.
Do I have fighter support?
Focusing all firepower.
This is General Dodonna.
Okay, we should hopefully be able to get back to Odic. Like, we can get through here pretty quickly.
I'll handle that.
I don't have Cruel on now. We gotta consider reworking fighter heroes. Yeah, they're gonna get more attention next release, I think. We want to recode them. A lot will be going on to carriers, but not all of them. There will still be some, like, individually commanded ones. But where possible, we're gonna tend to put them on carriers over leaving them. I want a hypervelocity gun on some of these planets. And we want that on you and on you. Coruscant. Get a trade port. Basilisk, I think we already... No, that's not... We got Chandrilla, we got a trade port on. Ptolemus, we can get a trade port on. And Vulpter, we want to build all of that on as well. Okay. Leave that for now. And we can just quickly roll into here. Actually, I'm going to save first. Or rolling into anywhere. Gotta be careful not to load my Revan's Revenge saves. There hasn't been any update on the Starhawk in a while. We're waiting until 0.2 to actually put out those submods. I wanted to get it out in 0.1, but then we'd basically be doing it twice. So it just never really made sense to do it. Because then we'd have to do like the 0.1 version and the 0.2 version, because stats have changed enough, stat systems.
What did you eat this
That's... It'd just be a whole thing.
morning? No signs of life.
Choose your reinforcements.
Get ready to
Done
move in.
here?
So I'm going to try to get some relatively fast units for this.
Fast. Like we drilled. Go.
Troublemaker.
Strange. I'm
I'll
still
get
in one
reinforcements.
piece.
Area's not secure.
So hopefully the submod for the Starhawks won't be too long into that release, but it will still be a little while.
Hey,
You're
accidents
gonna need
happen.
all of those.
Get ready to move
Nice.
in. Follow me.
We need stuff that's as fast here.
This material really dangerous.
Clear.
Shields deployed. They taking fire.
Okay, I don't know if the Barks are going to be able to handle that on their own. They can get there first. A lot of good vision we got.
Fired up. On target.
Who's next?
Turret online. Auto guns online.
You're going to go straight into the base and see if you can just wreck everything in there.
Secure the zone.
Eyes on the prize.
Online.
Okay, we got it.
Shields deployed. Grant injection. Come on. Now we're auto gun.
Okay, you should be able to handle the structure in these vehicles.
Pull the Republic. What's that covering for? Starting a hold. Turret ready. Fire.
Okay, we'll push up a little bit on this side. I don't think we want to go fully in. We want that. And let's get some clone troopers for you.
Ready to go. Turret powered up.
Will there ever be ability from fleet tenders to repair or destroy hardpoint? That isn't possible in the game, unfortunately.
Falling shot. Pull the Republic.
That is not an ability we could get them.
Attack. Covering fire. Go. Locked and firing.
It'd probably make fleet tenders way too powerful anyways. Like, they're already really good with small units, so making them even better with bigger units is just gonna really make them overpowered.
The orders? Gold Squadron,
Our
come on,
concentrated
attack.
fire seems to be having an effect.
Okay,
Wired up. Starting kill switch.
Told you it wasn't dead.
Trying to find it.
just run my bikes into the anti-vehicle turret.
Another new call out there.
Don't worry about them.
Shield deployed. Yeah.
I think we've mostly got them.
Close range assault.
Hot zone's getting hotter.
Where you going, trooper?
Damn.
I mostly really like this map, but I've always kind of wondered, like, having infantry-only passability either down the sides of the mountains and down the back, like, having a few more ways to get around for certain unit types, I think could make it even better. What's the difference between Imperialist soldiers and stormtroopers aside from aesthetic? All the infantry in the mod have pretty different stats and loadouts. So the tooltips on any of the specific units will tell you what they're armed with and what their stats are. So there are some infantry companies that have like worse individual stats but come in larger groups. Some that have like more of an anti-infantry focus, some that have more of an anti-vehicle focus. So always check like the tooltips for that kind of stuff. It'll tell you what they're going to be good for or why you'd be getting them. But there's a lot of depth to the setup of all the different infantry types. Generally, if two things are available to the same faction, unless it's like a special event type thing that you got them through, then a lot of work has gone into making sure they're not doing the same thing as another thing that faction has. I know you can't change the river here. This is a base game skirmish map. You can't use these rivers. Like, that's something that's not available to modders that was available to the designers, like Petroglyph, is these river types. You can't set those up yourself, so if you want to use them, you have to use a map that already has them. and like you can't change where they go.
System control achieved. Constructing. Beginning construction.
Have the GTS weapons there. We're good on parts mostly. I'm gonna get rid of the barracks on here, or hypervelocity gun, which will get us more food anyways. And I think we'll move them over here. I'm gonna save again for some reason, even though it's not been that long. Do you ever consider a story event like Order 66 and 65 for the Separatists, where Maul, Savage, Ventress, Talzin take over from Duke? Not like that exactly. There will be more story events for both of the factions, all the factions, but I don't think that one in particular would be. Like, a Maul taking over the CIS situation is unlikely.
Construction
We consider adding Pre-Vizsla as Deathwatch and Deathwatch as CIS reward. Like Mandalorian. There will be more Mandalorian content set up in the future for Fall of the Republic for sure. Around story events or characters and stuff. Specifics on what that'll end up looking like, I can't really say. Like, not a, oh, keep things secret kind of way, just like, it's not a thing that's currently planned. But those kinds of characters you can pretty safely assume are going to show up. And any news about Revan's Revenge? Yep, there will start being a bit more news about Revan's Revenge pretty soon. Once we're into Point 3 is going to be the first release cycle that Revan's Revenge actually releases in. But you'll probably see some another roster video for them within at least 2 months. But like, all of the ground stuff is very close to being done. For the Mandalorians, it's just coding into the units, and then their ground roster is set up. Old Republic space roster is all in. The Sith are the farthest behind, where they have 4 of their 5 space units coded in, but they have models and no textures. And where they only have 2 of their ground units in, including infantry. Though Philoraptor has done 2 more of the textures for their ground stuff recently. Let's actually take you guys up to another landing zone. No, never mind. I don't like that. Taking over here. This isn't great. You... More infantry. When in doubt, more infantry. Okay, most of you I'm sending over to that. One of you I'm sending up to there. One of you I'm sending over there. I want to capture those. Thank you, Ebenezer, for $5 donation saying, hello, Corey, I'm looking forward to the end of the month, please. Oh, glad you're looking forward to it. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you for the donation. I don't know if I'm going to get to that other landing zone fast enough. I think we need to just chill here. Yeah, stay there. The rest of you go up that way. I don't want to send them too far. The sensor for if we ever do get an orbital bombardment in this battle. Which we may not, because they don't have much left. I don't think we'll need that abandoned factory for this. We can start moving up towards the base. I don't think we're going to need to land much more in those areas. Get the UTAT and this. And I'm just going to send those saber tanks into the base. These guys will be able to kill what they got left there.
Back at it.
Run over there just to make sure there's nothing that's going to be escaping from us. We can scout out if we need to. Are there other SSDs or SSD type ships coming? So for Point 2 and Thrawn's Revenge, there's a few new ones. There's like the Mandator 3, the Asserter. In Fall of the Republic, if you want to count like the Devastation as an SSD, like if you count the Subjugator as one, then there's the Subjugator variant coming eventually. There's not that many more SSDs that we haven't already done in Star Wars. Like, we're redoing the Eclipse and the Sovereign for Point 3, hopefully. Some of those are already underway. I just don't know if they'll be fully done. But get fucked. Trying to think of if there's any other than like Vong stuff or stuff for other upcoming factions. We've got most of the SSDs that are in existence in both mods. Don't spoil that, Pox. That's supposed to be announced on the website. All the fun microtransactions we're going to be putting out there, it's going to be great.
Where you going, trooper? Go, I got your back.
We need to have a way to fund all the future factions. So every future faction is going to be coming out for $5.99 on the Epic Games Store, which we're buying that for ourselves. Because why rebuild a new framework when that store already exists? And for everyone who's always wanted an Empire of the Hand Super Star Destroyer, even though I've always said they're never going to get one, if you pay $15.99, then we'll like put a scale factor of 5 on the Syndic or something. Call that an SSD.
Auto guns online.
Trying to think if there are any other SSD types, like explicitly named and used SSD types that we don't have post Endor. I don't think there really are. Alright, I want the Valor on Karita.
Building started.
If we get invaded again, I want to use it. And do we have a reasonable...
Building under
Kill
construction.
food before it
Construction complete.
fucks up for me.
Complete.
Huh. Okay, there we go.
Tactical battle imminent.
Well, the Dominion we already have represented. It's not necessarily a different type. Same with the Bastion SSD, where it's like, it's not an explicit type, it's just SSD. Is this even really worth trying? Not really. I don't know if the fleet we have there can actually do anything about it there. I have to move over this one.
Setting course.
How devious, my
I'm gonna try it.
Construction complete.
Like, I think we can. It's a bunch of VSDs. Just we don't have enough anti-fighter in this fleet, I don't think. It's kind of risky.
Hostiles in the area.
I also need to turn on more music. Or 2.
Choose your reinforcements.
Yeah, they took out most of the fleet. Like, most of those
I'll
other
show them
Copy.
no mercy.
Orders confirmed.
Yes, Commander.
bulwarks are gone, so
Show me what considering history. Closing on the
we should be able to just
Right away.
kill Taunith from a distance. Point defense makes missile ships useless. Hmm. When will we get the next faction reveal for Revenge? So
They're not so tough.
I'm not sure what the next one's gonna be. What the next? Oh, come on! What are you doing? The next roster reveal is gonna be whether it's gonna be like if we're gonna try to do the space ones or the ground one next, because the Mandalorian ground one could be done very soon. Whereas Mandalorian space and Sith space would be farther off.
Tactical battle imminent.
Let's try not to masticate in chat, please. Kind of disgusting.
Ain't no hostile.
One shot, one kill.
Standing by. Moving out.
Knock it off! For the Republic!
Good to see you, my lord.
Because there's a chance we'll wait until
It's been too long.
Watch your side!
ThrawnCon 2022 to EAWXCon to show off
Orders confirmed.
too much more for Revenge. We'll try to have like a bigger thing for that.
Yes, sir.
Because that's what we did last year for a lot of stuff. There was so much that we showed off for the 15th anniversary. And I think most people enjoyed that. Like, I know I did. I think most of the team did. And it seemed like the community did. And there was, like, mining through that stream of posting stuff for... Like, not everyone's going to watch a 4-hour stream for, like, individual renders of ships. So I can double dip on the previews for that. Like, I made a bunch of preview videos, premiered them during the stream, and reposted them. It's great.
How devious, my lord.
We have the bigger fleet up there.
Building under
I'm gonna wait until that's actually done before I build any of it, or build any more of it.
construction complete. Construction complete.
Where do we want the next farm? We plan to add more unique abilities for heroes and ships in the future? Yes. There are more ability types that Phil has been working on, and
Defensive position.
we'll have more of them eventually. You're kind of limited in Empire at War what you can do with abilities, because
Construction.
you have to do really janky shit to get new ones. You're limited to what the game already has. But oh right. Oh well. Do we want to just go to Forost? I think we want to just go to Forost.
The enemy is mine.
Battle imminent.
Thanks, fool.
Enemy movement.
Choose your reinforcements.
I'll show them
The
no
mission is
mercy.
clear.
No problem. Copy that, General. Homing in.
All out.
Alright, this is a battle that we can just dunk on the CIS.
On my way, Commander. As you wish, Commander.
This is General Dodonna. I'll handle that.
Salutations, my lord.
Awaiting your orders, sir.
The shame Tonith is taking away the
Locked on. Rockets away.
spotlight from Ningo. Otherwise, we'd just be doing
Clearing the sky.
Dodonna and Screed trying to hunt down Ningo
Computer activated.
in a bunch of bulwarks.
Receiving missile.
Really
Ready
thematic.
for attack orders.
Dodonna reporting in.
Like, I think we announced like,
Consider it history.
or we showed about 70 different units last year for
Jan Dodonna,
for
sir.
ThrawnCon, EAWX. I need to figure out what name we actually would stick with for it. I think we called it
Jan
EAWXCon.
Dodonna, sir.
Awaiting your orders.
They're
sir.
like celebrating
Ready to
15
attack.
years of EAWX, and then there were a bunch of comments on like the Reddit poster in other places like, oh, why didn't you include this other mod in this? Like, that's not what it's about. EAWX, not EAW's anniversary. Wilhelm scream in there.
Move forward.
That is getting the Valor. Should be able to get a goal in 3 there afterwards as well. I'm gonna move you away.
Construction complete.
Or goal in 2, not goal in 3.
Construction complete.
Beginning construction.
Because there's no other secondary defense station already there. Alsacon, give me money. Metalos.
Vehicle
Give me Peltas. Just save again. Why not? The Duskin League will be coming back. I don't know if it's going to be in point 3 or later. Because we still need to figure out what exactly we want to do with the rest of the roster. We planned them out a bit with the Imperial reworks to make sure that we could give them a few Imperial units without making them overlap too much. But there's still a bit more to decide there. And Sky has done a few other thrust ship types for them, so they have more than they did when they got cut, for sure. But hopefully they'll be back in point 3. Because we'd still want to do a
Ready for backup.
Choose your reinforcements.
Get ready to move
like a
in,
proper
West Point.
government mechanic for them when they get added.
Construction.
Heading out.
Back at it. Ready when you are. Like we drilled. Go. Area
So
secure.
it's possible there'll be a point 3 thing.
Stay mobile.
We'll probably end up discussing that internally pretty soon, or like pretty early into point 3 to see how far we want to try to go with them, like how core we want to make them to release plans. But
Feeling fine. You and me.
if it doesn't work out, then it probably won't be made one of the release contingent bits of content. They'll definitely get their unique faction slot back,
Droids around the objective.
but beyond that, it's really hard to say.
Hey, check your map.
Get the Saber and ATT.
Squad stands together. Auto, online. Move forward.
I think that like sniped at one of the stats.
On it. Target destroyed. Stay together. Get clear. Time attack taken. We have not secured the area. Job's not over yet.
I should probably just go get some infantry to come over. We're gonna need the other landing zone more than I thought.
Let's do this.
It is Forost after all.
Let's go. Ready when you
Not
are.
a super built up Forost,
Guns
but
online.
still Forost.
Shield deployed. Let's do this. Take more. Move fast. Closing range. Let's do this. Troublemaker.
I think we need both infantry over there. See how they're doing. Okay, they didn't send anything over. We're gonna go grab the landing zone. Matt, get the rest of the way over here. Drop our infantry. What's your favorite SSD? I think the Bellator is my favorite to use, but the Asserter has grown on me over the years because I spent so long working on it. No, so long intermittently working on it. I hated the design when I started making it, but I don't know if it's like a Stockholm Syndrome thing, but I like it a lot more now than I did at the start.
Area so secure. That'll fight you.
Alright, go over to the structures. Because I think they've sent most of the heavier vehicles up.
AT-AT ready. Fire.
Really an AT-AT. So one of the big problems that we ran into with the Fall of the Republic release was the Clone Wars Large Galactic Conquest. We had to cut because it was so unstable. Like the saves were being really unstable. It was crashing while saving for a lot of people. And we're thinking that the reason for that was memory usage. Because there's like 1.3 gigs of sound files, which is like the main difference between Fall of the Republic and TR and on like the memory usage side. So that's our main guess right now for what was causing that. So what we're going to be trying to do is changing the encoding for all the sound files. So they're currently 8-bit? No, I think they're currently 16-bit, and we're going to go to 8-bit, which will cut the file size for the sound files in half, which will hopefully mean if it is memory related, it should solve those problems. We're also going to need to try to be a little bit more selective in where and how we use the sound files. Like, it's a thing where, like, obviously having unique VO everywhere we can, or having more VO is preferable, but we have to take into account the realities of Empire at War, which doesn't always let you do what you want.
Hey, check your map. You and me.
But if you try sometimes, you just might find you want to punch a fucking hole in your desk.
Shield deployed.
Or you get what you need. Yeah, that one. Did it do anything with Sillery's army? Probably not, unless it was like super deep in a story-related thing. And it'd be very limited, but a company or two of Sith soldiers. But there's currently no plans to do anything with that.
Troublemaker. Cadet mistake. Auto guns online.
With the Heritage Council of the Hapens, with their alliance with Dathomir being the Night Sisters, so you get Sillery, so you get a company of Sith troopers from Carbonite or something. I don't know. Do not take random stream jokes / musings as explicit plans. Is that all they have? Okay, yeah. Cool. No, we lost clones. Okay, we gotta restart. We lost the clones.
The enemy is mine.
Defensive position.
Can we grab on the vehicle side? I wouldn't mind some H-Wing, or some flash blinds.
Mines, repairs, we got you covered.
I don't think the top level is going to be, or the top run is going to be that bad. So we can go into Odic.
Pelta frigate reporting in.
Them.
Pelta frigate reporting
Over there.
in.
What's the chart saying about our relative power? CIS has 47% of military strength. Yeah, that looks accurate.
Closing on the target.
Go over there.
Beginning construction.
Building started.
I think we do need more food.
Mines, repairs, we got you covered.
Alright, I guess they want me to take New Plimto. Oh, you retreated back that way. Okay. I thought they ended up back at Empress Tita. Or Odic. But I guess because that was the closest one with the star base. Yeah, that makes sense.
Choose your reinforcements. Moving into position. Yes, sir. Safety check complete. On my way, Commander. Of course, Your Highness.
Well,
Ready to fit
sucks
the
to be them.
enemy drive thrusters. Bearing set. Breaking comms out. As you wish, Commander.
Which probably means Empress Tita isn't super defended either. But let's make sure we kill Ningo so that Corpulentus isn't getting a boost from Ningo's command ability.
Stand clear. Safety check complete.
Just can put up that.
Reporting in. Fire at will. Clear the area.
Favorite CIS ship? The Recusant.
Your orders?
Recusant is a top 3 Star Wars ship.
We've reached the base perimeter, sir. All lights
Starhawk,
green.
Recusant,
Taking the offensive.
both
For attack orders.
both top tier.
We've got him on the
Heading for attack coordinates.
Well, much for that.
Weapons online. Disable their engine.
We'll kill him and then we'll attack New Plimto.
Open fire on those laser cannons.
There we go. No retreat.
Reporting. Targeting.
Enemy detected.
Alright, so he's gonna be basically alone at New Plimto.
Construction complete.
Battle imminent.
Well, hello. That's gotta have emptied out a lot of the ground forces off New Plimto as well.
Fighter on the objective.
We're not gonna be able to get our fighters in. I need one of the Peltas in this fleet.
Watch your flanks. This is Bravo 4. Look to the skies. We're gaining on them.
Copy that, sir. Oh no. Spread out.
That's
I'm transmitting
definitely gonna be a
coordinates to you
retreat
now.
unless
I might be small,
Let's go.
but I pack a punch.
hopefully AI logic is like broken. No, come on, Bob. Why do you fix things? They're doing an air progressive map on one stream? No, that'd be like 100,000 subscriber special or something. Maybe as like a subathon situation on Twitch.
Construction complete.
Move forward.
Okay,
Mines, repairs, we got you covered. Who needs
you're
fixing?
going over there.
Plotting flight plan.
Beginning construction.
You are going to there.
Show them no mercy.
Battle imminent.
Hey, it's Mr. Stark. He doesn't feel so good.
Hostiles in the area.
Choose your reinforcements. Copy. Yes,
I think the one we do in April will be a longer one, a bigger campaign. I'm not sure which mod it'll even be in,
There's nothing we
but
can do.
the last couple of these have been a bit shorter,
Doesn't stand a
so... Like, it might still be a smaller campaign, but I do it on Cruel or something.
Delta frigate, moving in.
Consider it history. Closing on the target. We read you. Reading you. Nominal status.
Jan
'Cause
Dodon.
I'm also going to try to do it once
Issue a command.
there's not already 2 ongoing Empire
My way,
War
Commander.
campaigns. Because, like,
Underway.
after this today, there's going to be
Reporting in.
2 pretty long episodes from the Hapen
Jan
and
Dodona, sir.
and Zinj campaigns going up this weekend.
Sir, there's still techno-union
I don't want people to get
This is
tired of
General
Empire at War.
Dodonna.
Definitely not going to be Revan's Revenge
Dodonna
in
reporting
April.
in.
That would be very unlikely.
Hold your position. I need cover fire. Got you on the comm.
Focusing
Like, there'll definitely be a Revan's Revenge playthrough or 6 this year,
This is General
but
Dodonna.
not this month.
Missile destroyer reporting in. It's about to blow.
Dodonna reporting in.
Captain here.
Yeah, some of the icons have been changed since
All
release.
stations ready. This is Beta Squadron reporting in. Ready yourself.
Some of them had been changed in one of the hotfixes, but
Missile destroyer reporting in.
the hotfixes had to die.
Stations ready.
They were causing issues.
I'm here.
Missile
Even though none of the individual changes in the hotfixes were a problem, just especially with people's saves, it's just trying to do hotfixes is
Yes, sir.
fucking annoying.
Enemy in range.
Most annoying thing in the world.
Lost you on the sensor. We lost the squad. We'll hold this position until you return. Reading you. Battle stations. Sir. Your orders, General.
Maybe a nice April Imperial range stream or something. That's not happening.
All stations ready.
That's definitely not happening.
Initiating combat protocol. Yes, sir. Targeting enemy.
Jan Dodonna, sir. Dodonna reporting in.
Our reinforcements are taking casualties. Their reinforcements Missile destroyer.
Kind of weird that we've been basically in beta for .2 since December, and it's May or it's April
This
now.
is General Dodonna.
Good to see you, my
Dodonna
Everything just
reporting
takes
in.
so long.
Target at maximum
I'll
range.
report in later.
Barrage.
This is General Dodonna.
There's too many of them. All stations ready.
They're gonna be an April Fool's video? No.
They could be trouble. We need to destroy it. Ready for
We don't do April Fool's like joke videos. I usually do April Fool's Day announcements, but I didn't have anything that I wanted to announce this year, so I didn't want to like start another mod to do a video for that,
Jan Dodonna, sir.
because like
It's been too long.
it's been Imperial Reign last year. We announced Fall of the Republic and Revan's Revenge
I'm
coming
here.
back on
Report in later.
April Fool's Day. We announced Vong stuff on April Fool's Day.
area in order to proceed. One shot, one kill. Missile destroyer reporting in. Initiating combat protocols. Ready to face the enemy.
Like, other than committing to a Mass Effect mod, I don't know what else there'd be.
Good shooting.
I'll handle that.
Target at maximum firepower.
Jan Dodonna,
All
sir.
stations ready. Destroy the techno-union ships. We read you.
Dodonna
Because, like,
reporting
we have a
in.
UI for a Mass Effect mod, thanks to
Missile destroyer.
Machine, but
Targeting enemy.
we'd have to make a whole bunch of new assets. I don't know, with the rate at which Sky's been doing infantry models, maybe that's possible. Once we're out of Star Wars stuff to do, just all in on Mass Effect.
Construction complete.
Fall out.
Tactical battle imminent.
Oh crap, they have more than I thought. Unless that's actually ground stuff. Maybe it's ground stuff that's still in space. Or that overflowed to space.
Look, the droids we're looking for.
There is almost a full stack of ground stuff there.
Reinforcements.
Cannons charged. Delta frigate moving in.
Where are we headed?
Let's move out.
Bring her around. Of course, Your Highness. Engaging drive thrusters. Bearing set. Breaking comm silence. Setting a course. As you wish, Commander.
We're moving out.
Captain here.
Waiting command. Destroy those planes.
Alright, let's try to kill everything but Corpulentus first.
Into attack position. Give me a target. All stations ready. Vectoring to the enemy.
I mean, I did start a Normandy model,
Transmitting the
but
coordinates to you now. Sir, our concentrated fire seems to be having effect.
that was more because I was bored one day.
Set them up and knock them down. I'm transmitting the coordinates to you now.
Thank you, Shadow, for the $5 donation, saying that mod would have a mass effect on us and I'd bet it'd be fully calibrated.
Get out. We need you to clear the area. A couple more
Thank you very much.
This is the captain.
Fire for
There was a period while playing Mass Effect that I was like kinda getting on board for it. Then I think like the end of the game just kinda killed any mental momentum I had for that.
Sir, we need you to clear the area of all enemies. All lights are green. Yes, General.
Like if Revan's Revenge and Imperial Reign didn't exist, then I might have started working on it and then just waiting for the rest of the team to
Sir, we've lost another ship.
inevitably
Assault salvo. Ready to command.
start doing some of it. But
Targeting at maximum firepower. Squadrons at half strength. Give me a
well, there's
target,
already a
Captain
mod
here.
that does that, Sky, that specifically for Mass Effect. There's also mods that do that for Star Wars stuff.
Ready to deliver.
Plenty of mods that do that for Star Wars stuff. But I try not to say anything mean about other mods on stream or anything, but the Mass Effect mod for EAW is a complete fucking mess.
Nominal status.
Like, it's not a, oh, it's not my thing kind of thing. It's just like, they're all ported models and they're just rigged so poorly and it just doesn't work.
Your orders?
Like, that's not a value judgment, it just doesn't
You
work.
got the commander.
Aye. Sir, we've searched the site.
Least favorite 3? Okay, the ads is fucking terrible. I really hate the ads.
Scum. It's about to blow.
People think I hate the Nebulon B2. I don't hate the Nebulon B2. I just don't like the Nebulon B2. And it's hard to do a higher poly version that looks right. I don't love the premise of it,
We are under attack. Requesting air support. At your command.
but it's definitely not in my bottom 5 least favorite
To
ships.
attack.
So the ads,
Heading for attack.
maybe the
coordinates.
Munifex. No, the Munifex has grown on me. It's mostly just the ads.
Sail out. I repeat, taking the offensive. Sail out.
Like, I'm sure there are others that if I saw them, because I'm like
Ready to command. This is the captain.
kind of thinking of some right now. Even the top ships, like, sure, why not? But the ads is terrible.
Ready to deliver. Moving into attack position. Ready for takeoff. Clear the area.
More like bag Hulk.
Yes, Admiral. Blasting target. We're all set here, Commander. Serious damage. Awaiting your orders, sir. Choose your reinforcements.
If I was willing to turn off hardware mouse, it'd probably be running better. What's your opinion on the E.C. Henry Star Wars ship designs? So the ones he does based on the movies, I really like the background stuff. He's actually got reference photos of the movie models for them. So a lot of those are actually like as good as official. Like they're very close to what the official models look like. Because I've seen some of the pictures that he was basing them off of as well. I'm personally not a fan of the like Imperial Nebulon B.
At your command. Canon.
That's one that like people ask for all the fucking time, and I think like every mod. But
Striking
I
target.
personally don't love the premise for the ship, and I don't love the design of it. Like I like the rest of his work, but
Preparing assault salvo. Ready to
that one for some reason gets brought up by people way more than any of the other ones, and it's one that I'm really not fond of. Like I think there's even a fucking Reddit thread up right now on how mods need to start using that design.
Firing target.
Actually, I think the thread says mods need to use the model as well, which that wouldn't work.
Stand clear. This is the captain. You got the captain. We're taking heavy fire. I can't do that. Objective acquired. Pull out. Enemy units approaching. Look to the skies.
And like it's not his fault that people are annoying about requesting it, but it's just is one thing that I'm not as fond of.
General.
Part of it comes from the fact that it looks kind of like a greebled collision mesh. Like a collision mesh is a thing in Empire at War, which is like an extra box that goes around the ship, and you kind of do a very rough version of the ship to kind of go around itself. and it kind of just looks like the Nebulon B's collision mesh. So that's always
Ready for command.
put me off in a way that people who don't have to deal with that probably wouldn't think of or notice.
Bearing set.
Leia's master was a Barabel. You're probably thinking of Saba, which is like kind of Trandoshan-esque, but
Yes, sir.
it's not a Trandoshan.
You ready to deliver? Main cannon's charged. Sir, whatever it was they were looking for, it looks like they already found it.
What's Imperial Reign? Imperial Reign is our Galactic Civil War era mod. It's very, very, very early and basically not being developed.
Nominal status.
Who's your favorite Jedi and Sith? I really like Silgal. Saba's cool.
Vectoring to the
I hate Kent Hamner.
battle station. Sir, your orders, General. Clear the area of all enemies. We need you to clear the area in order to proceed. I recommend we deal with them
Rosh
first.
Pennon is definitely among my favorite. I need to check in on the poll results. We've got polls going on for the next Jedi heroes to go in Bronze Revenge and Fall of the Republic.
Lights are green.
I think the poll results are probably not changing very much from what they were when they were announced. I know we're getting more than 1,000 more votes, but
Breaking comm silence. Sensors picking up an enemy squadron.
I forget where people were placing so far.
Captain here.
Rosh was on the poll, and sadly people didn't
Orders?
flock to his support somehow. I think Jaden did really well. Like Jaden is near the top of that poll, so
Yes, Commander. Missile destroyer.
he's a pretty likely one for the future.
Our reinforcements are being depleted. Take down that bomber. Separatist forces.
There's Plagueis and just got outbound flight. I was wondering if those two books mesh together well.
Incoming transmission from the
Depends what you mean by mesh together. There's not like big contradictions between them or anything, but there's not a lot of
missile destroyer
super
reporting in.
connective plot threads between them. Plagueis is really good at mentioning stuff from other books and other authors, because James Lucino does that a lot. So
Got you on the comm.
I forget which was written when, but there'd probably be some
To the enemy. Cannons loaded.
allusions to similar things, but it's not one where it's going to be like building off of each other.
I can't do that. Whatever it was they were looking for, it looks like they already found it. Engines idling.
Jaden second, yeah.
This is Beta
There you go.
Squadron reporting in. All stations ready.
I knew he was like top 5. I didn't realize he was second.
Takeoff. Spreading out.
Can you get the top 5 from Atreon
Missile destroyer.
if you
here.
got him open?
Yes, sir. Firing. Sir. Bail out. I repeat. Bail out.
Republic Light Corvette responding.
We need to take out some of these little transports.
Take down that interceptor. Yes, sir. Provide cover.
Star Cruiser standing by.
Let's blow something up. Missile destroyer reporting in. Cruiser
We need to move some ships over to the side so we can actually kill those.
There's too many of them.
Skip, Jaden, Dorsk, 81 and 82, Tahiri, and Saber are the top 5. Okay. Not a bad roster. Not the easiest roster, because I guess Kip could use Mara's head. But Dorsk 81,
Enemy.
Saba's gonna be a harder one to do. Gonna need to like rescale the Cerulean model.
Squadrons at half strength. You've got company.
I am excited for Lego Star Wars. I'm gonna be doing a playthrough. I'm gonna be streaming that on YouTube.
Issue a command.
Well, maybe on Twitch. Probably on YouTube.
Missile destroyer reporting in. Appeared on long-range sensor.
Might start on YouTube and then move it to Twitch and like still post the episodes on YouTube. Who would you do for an appearance if Jaden gets in? One of his appearances is basically the Canon one. I'd still rather make him Keldor or Rodian, but unfortunately he's been established as human. So.
We've reached the base perimeter, sir. We've done it. It should be destroyed shortly.
Kind of sad.
We've done it. Weapons locking on. Reinforcements have arrived.
Patty, Luminara, Quinlan Voss, Varys. On Krell is another one that's going to be harder to do.
Missile destroyer here. Cruiser, standing by. Reinforcements have been cut off. We've sabotaged the separatist vehicle. We've got secondary missile destroyer reporting in. Enemies down.
Well, wherever I stream Lego Star Wars, it's still going to end up on YouTube. It's just whether I do the streams initially on YouTube or if I do them on Twitch and then post the videos to YouTube afterwards, like I did with some of the Empire War recordings. Thank you, Keel Hall, for the $5 donation, saying people are sleeping on MSJ's brand in the poll. Thank you, Jedi, who can float and cross water and ground battles. I mean, putting self-destruct on a hero is... like, you can't not have that ability, and people, I feel like, just wouldn't use it. That's where he kind of falls apart, literally.
Invasion commencing.
Thank you, Wicked Steel. Keeping the membership going for 16 months. So thank you both, Wicked Steel and Keelhaul. What's the vendor to refit unit in the 1.2 files? Are those accessible? It's, yeah, some of the hero flagships are...
Just leave me alone. Damn.
Choose your reinforcements. Reinforcements canceled.
Get ready
We'll
to
call
move
it
in.
an accident.
Let's get a... scouting field base and try to get up there.
That was some droid. Enemy movement.
That company.
Stop destroying my shields, please.
No signs of life.
Auto guns online.
Sound off. See you.
Missile armed.
Yes, sir. You rock. What up?
Will the MC75 submod be updated to TR3? Yeah. Any of the submods will be updated to 3.2 once it's out.
Ultra acknowledged.
Probably won't be immediate unless Nemesis already updated all of them, which he might have done. Otherwise, I'll be doing it later.
On it.
This place is
Gonna
dusty. Use my little friend.
after that,
Far,
probably not
far
gonna work.
away.
Is under attack.
Guns ready. Get clear. That was something.
We've secured a
About
landing
to blow.
We get it. We got it. Okay. UTAT. Juggernaut.
Defensive position.
Too much fire. They got me pinned down.
Ready. Blast radius.
Auto guns online.
Done and
I
done.
think we should be able to take this from here.
Violating orders. Neutralize that. Take him out. Do I look like a droid? Targeting droid.
This one's mine.
Might be in trouble. Push
Well, they've really refocused on this one.
fire. Starting kill streak.
Reporting in.
That's a hit.
Destroyed.
That one might be stuck. I'm not sure. We'll have to see once stuff's out of the way.
Area is not secure. That's a hit.
Did they just kill the UTAT? No. Okay, good. Well, we tried. How are we gonna hold this side then? Let's get you some clones, some ATPTs. And rather than trying to go too far with that, we're just gonna stick here with it. I think we can outdamage the healing on that.
Hey,
Okay, let's try to get that ourselves, not that our infantry's up here. You're gonna go into the base. Because if we can get that, then we can heal the UTAT and the lab. You're gonna need to chase those down.
I'm in cover.
Damn. Alright, well, let's bring the other one in.
Bombers at the ready.
We can't let them escape.
Lock it down! Going in tight! On the clone army! Move forward!
Yeah, Jedi will have a command staff style mechanic.
On fire!
Jedi and clones will both have something like that in the future.
Starting assault!
Copy. Acknowledged. That's that.
Hey, pick your man! Maintain position!
We might be able to pull in there now. You, some saber tanks, and we'll get more saber tanks. They just killed what I wanted.
What's that volley?
Cover it.
Nice work!
I'm not going to be able to take...
Autoguns online.
There we go. Okay, now you guys can get into the base. You can back off a little bit.
Position!
We're good now.
Reporting.
Shield up! Starting assault!
Yes. Destination.
Force the charge!
My way, sir.
Oh, I'm just getting warmed up.
Scanning infantry. You won't be more trouble.
Yes, Commander.
You're violating orders. Neutralize that.
That's going to be hard to fight around unless we can get some infantry in to actually
Die.
take the field hospital away.
Need me to kill that thing for you?
Autoguns online. Do I look like a droid? On the wall! What's that coming for?
A lot of the places the field hospital ends up, it, well, Repair Depot and field hospital, same thing.
On the Republic!
The vehicle hospital.
Autoguns.
They usually end up in places that are a bit harder to use. This is one of the first ones that's been
Shield deployed. Support fire ready.
in a better location, I think. Hey, the blue AATs in the Republic, or are they all beige and brown? They all have the same color scheme right now, because to do the different color schemes, I basically need to redo the UV and texture, which I'm going to be doing eventually, but it's just not been a High Republic, high priority thing for me.
Let's go. Constructing.
Move forward.
You do a tutorial on how to make a boarding shuttle? I mean, you just build it on the... I'm not sure what the tutorial there would be. You click the one button on the build bar and then it builds.
Hostiles in the area.
Choose your reinforcements.
Let's move this bucket.
All clones on deck. Ready to face the enemy. There's nothing we can't handle.
Putting it into another mod? That would be
Into attack position.
pretty far outside the scope of what I could do in a tutorial.
Set.
Like, it's not just like, here's how you set up a unit that can do this. There's a lot of other under the hood coding you need to do. Like, you need to have a good understanding of Lua.
Understood.
Closing on the target. Reading you. Battle stations. Ready for command.
Because it didn't just like, oh, this is how you add this ability to this thing. You have to set up a way to pass the information between Galactic and Tactical in that mod.
Accelerating now.
Not really tutorial type content.
Waiting command. Watch your flank.
Like, that's the kind of thing where even telling people how to set it up, like taking our code directly to do it, would be more difficult than a lot of people who are looking at tutorials would be able to do.
We're all set here, Commander. Pilot. Good shooting, sir. Your orders? Taking the offensive. Ready to command.
But that's why stuff like the framework is free release, so people can just put it in their mods.
Ships in the
Hey, we get the little base.
Concentrating fire.
Cute little base.
There's not much time left. Got you on the comm. Nominal status. The enemy doesn't stack the chance. Sir, we've lost you on the sensors. We'll hold this position until you return. Open fire on those laser Captain here. Cruiser ready for combat. We'll take the fight to them. We need you to clear the area in order to proceed.
Yeah, if you look on the workshop for Deep Core,
Sir,
it's there.
holding position.
It doesn't include the the actual plugins,
Scum.
but
Ready for command. Preparing assault salvo.
it has like the basic setup to be able to do a lot of the
Moving to attack.
stuff we do.
Awaiting your orders, sir. Heading for attack coordinates. We've done it. Targeting at maximum firepower. Standing by. Cruiser here. Waiting for
So it makes it a lot easier to set up that kind of stuff. And it would make it a lot easier to just use the boarding setup from TR.
Seems to be having an effect. Sir, our concentrated fire seems to be having an effect. Warm up. Setting course. Holding position. We need you to take them out.
Yeah, the communication is, but I don't know that the boardings, like the unit plugin itself is. But if you have the framework, then you can just grab the plugin and plop it in that way. Then you just have to attach the script to it. Did I combine my stacks? No, just over there.
Construction complete.
The arrow is too close for me to see. Okay, now give me my planet back, dicks.
Squad stands together. Right sweep, I've got point.
Yeah, if you have, if you take the framework from that pre-release, then you just grab the unit script, then you can pretty easily set it up.
Auto, online. You will be
No, Deep Core doesn't include the mod-specific UI stuff.
Affirmative, sir. Walker moving out.
What's that covering fire?
The category filters are a different.
I've got you.
They're a plugin,
Lock it down.
which I don't know if Pox included that in the free release. But again, like the way that Deep Core is set up, it's a lot easier to set up those kinds of things. The UI textures aren't free release.
Here we go. Stay together. Going in tight.
Like once you get into a lot of the specific plugins, then it has a lot more mod-specific content in it. And different people on the team have different rules for how their content's allowed to be used. So Sheen didn't pre-release his stuff, so I don't have the right to free-release his UI textures. And that also, like, doing our specific UI textures and filters would require a bunch of other files that then entangle more with the units and everything. But it's easy to look at those plugins and then get what you want specifically out of it. No, there's no tape and voices done for point 2. Our audio guy hasn't really been able to do much for point 2, and he's generally worked on Fall of the Republic.
Yes, Commander. Ready.
Changing weapons.
AT-AT ready.
Poor little Juggernaut, nearly dead.
Turrets online. Follow behind me.
Need to keep it safe now.
Follow me.
don't think they actually have much beyond the government structure here. They're gone. There.
Planetary control achieved. Constructing.
I think we're gonna save there. They've only got the one more planet in this area, and then we can head north. The Sith and Old Republic have droid ground units? Yeah, some. The Sith ground roster, I think, is more heavily droid. Like, the Republic has the tank droid, the Mark IV. The Sith, I think, have more of the assault droids. They have at least Mark 1 and 2. I think they have the Mark IV assault droid as well. This will be a little bit more difficult. Oh, A6 and A5. You are going to run up there. Well, there first. Go straight to the middle. You go down there. Then I guess we will wait till we're at another landing zone. See if we can actually get this one. It's going to be tough, but we can get there and land much closer.
Job's not over yet. Pinged a hostile. Lock it down. On time. Going in tight. Autogun ready to go. Move forward. Falling shot. Run.
That HMP is going somewhere. Alright, deploy that. I think we need this landing zone. I need to actually put something at that. That's the HMP isn't actually enough for it. Could be the case. Right, make sure we get that. Saw some GATs quickly there. Okay, UTAT, artillery, ATTE. Here, actually, you're gonna get in there, and you're gonna drive them to the drop-off point.
Standing by. Scouting location.
Now let's see what they have on each side. You see more planets to unknown regions? Yeah. As we add the factions that are more unknown region relevant, then you'll start seeing more planets out there in the progressives, but also maps that are kind of built around that. Lead infantry here. Amity. Not bad, you?
Going in tight.
Unit destroyed.
We have a ton of planets that are set up for it.
They're gonna wrap up here, pal. Ready when you are.
Unit
Like planned out, some coded, some set up. Have the biggest galactic map repository of unknown regions planets set up of any point in a Star Wars project, I think. Just a lot of shit that's irrelevant for anything but what we're doing.
Job's not over yet. Unit destroyed. Online. Defensive position. What's that covering fire?
Okay, you're gonna try to get into that side of the base.
Turret online.
Ooh, they have an MAF and HM.
Follow me.
That's mine. We get some money. I'm gonna send the Juggernauts in together. I don't don't think we need to use the bombing run on this side. I think we're going to use it over here. Oh, there goes that other landing zone.
On time. Fine, stop. Lock it down. Warfire ready. Turret ready.
I'm not sure how that Magna got down there.
Maintain fire.
Do you have any ideas for new frigate or capital ship hardpoints? I'm not sure what you mean there. Like weapon types? Like the Vong will have some slightly different weapon types, or pretty different weapon types with their year cores and everything. But if you mean hardpoints that do entirely different functions, that's not something that EAW can do really well. You're pretty limited in how moddable they are.
Reinforcements are on their way.
Autoguns online.
There are technically some other things you can kind of do with them, but generally the things that you can do with them aren't really that worth doing. Like any different, like entirely different types you try to do would have to be done via Lua scripting, but your ability to access specific hardpoints in Lua is not great. So you can't really base much off of having a particular hardpoint type. And generally, to the extent that it is possible, it usually ends up just feeling like someone just did whatever they're doing for the sake of having a new hardpoint type, rather than because it actually feels like it's doing anything particularly helpful. Oh, is this the faction capital? Well, we got most of their structures. I'm gonna leave the A6 there. The A6 was the starting force. See if we can lure that into our infantry over here.
Going in tight. Move forward. Close range assault. Going in. Look around, stay sharp. I'll take cover and fire. Enemy behind. Guns ready. Springer, on the clone army.
Like, there are other projectile types we'll have over time as we feel like they're relevant to the mod, but they generally have to be worth differentiating from other things, rather than just having them for the sake of having them, and having, like, appropriate places for them. That's a terrible place for you. It'd almost be better just to get the A6 killed so we can bring in other stuff. They only have a few units that are still running here. Okay, yeah, they're gone. Almost sacked off an A5 for that. No, or an A6. Would have been terrible. Alright, we need more food.
Construction complete. Building cancelled.
Put food on you. And put food on you. Custom faction the players can build in-game. What does that really mean, though? You can't really do it where, like, you have a menu where the player selects all their ship types. Unless you made it so that, like, every ship was available to the faction, and then the first 10 or whatever you build are what the faction gets. But then, like, playing against that faction wouldn't really work very well, and it caused a lot of lag issues. And Like there's no menus you can add to Empire at War for like, oh, pick your thing here. It's just whatever you can do with the build bar and find different ways to build that. So it's yeah.
The enemy.
It really depends on what exactly you mean by any of it.
Who do I need to pick up?
Oh, need more music again. Now we go to Tor. What's your policy on including new canon material? It's explicitly a Legends mod. We only do stuff from new canon where there is a hole to fill and new canon fills the hole. So like the Chiss stuff that Timothy Zahn sets up is obviously more applicable than anything we're coming up with. As far as icons go, which is like an image of something, we have to come up with them from scratch a lot of the time anyways. So icons are just whatever's available there. But yeah, like coming up with Chiss hero names, if we'd have to invent something from scratch, it's better to just use Timothy Zahn stuff, who, especially with Zahn, he's always just going to write whatever he's going to write, rather than it necessarily mattering to him what the rest of the universe looks like. So that's why so much of the new Thrawn trilogy basically presupposes that Outbound Flight has happened. Like, it kind of sideways inserts all that stuff again. But for like things like the Onager or the Starhawk, stuff that's otherwise explicitly new canon and isn't necessary, like the Empire has a ton of stuff in Legend that we can already work with. Planets, we already have a ton of stuff we can already work with. Like we don't just pull from new canon for that. Imperial Reign is going to have some Legends GCs and some Galactic Conquests and some new canon Galactic Conquests. So there will be new canon stuff in from that. But beyond that, we stick to Legends.
LAC responding. Yes, sir.
Choose your reinforcements. Raising anchors. Fire course. Breaking comm silence. There's nothing we can't handle. We read you. On my way, Commander. Ready to deliver. Safety check complete. Report again. Let's go. Target located.
So like when we get to Chiss hero rosters and working on the Empire of the Hand hero roster some more, there will be a bunch of characters from the Ascendancy trilogy.
Anchors away.
Did the Republic get the secondary class in Fall of the Republic? Yes, through Order 66. You can get some from
Where we
spawns.
headed? We're standing on them. Ready to deliver. Moving into attack position. The entrance should be open momentarily. Moving into positions on your command. At your command. We'll crush those scum. We can do that. Take them down. They've got it, Captain. Your orders?
They're leaving. Kill the engines.
Don't salvo.
Bye-bye engines.
Clear.
Go away.
Ready to commence. Their reinforcements are taking casualties. Moving to attack. Awaiting your orders, sir. A squadron of enemy starfighters heading toward us.
I mean, honestly, that kind of just sounds like the CSA ship market. But a much broader application of it. Because you'd still need some core of stuff for the faction.
Move forward.
Otherwise, you need, like, planet-specific stuff everywhere. Which, doing something for every planet would be very difficult.
Calling a shining. Guns ready.
Beginning construction.
In and 5.
Choose your reinforcements.
Follow me. Follow me.
Order acknowledged.
Not bad, not bad. Let's do this.
'Cause, like, that's less making your own faction than
Like
just
real go.
very broad application of, like, influence units and that kind of thing.
Stay with me, all right?
Construction complete.
Calling a shining. The objective. Here we go.
What's the status of Imperial Reign? It's mostly just me fucking around with specific features. It'll be a while before it's getting any kind of significant focus. Like, don't expect anything out of it for quite some time. Like, even the rest of the team doesn't have it. Because it's just a place for me to do weird, crazy shit that would be either harder or that I'd have to convince other people to do in one of the more established mods that we're all working on currently. Because basically the way it's going to work is I'm going to do a bunch of random crap, and then I'm going to present that to the rest of the team and see what sticks and what doesn't. Rather than trying to, like, committee design it when it's supposed to be so divergent from what else we've done. In both, like, scope of combat and everything. Get back there. I think we want more swampies. And more clonies. We'll need to build some more vehicles after this as well, because we're getting kind of sparse on our ground units. Get back in that side, and we can push up through here with these ones now. The J1s aren't gonna have the best time on this map. There's a lot of narrow corners and everything. So this is gonna be kind of difficult to get through from there. But if we can just grab that factory, let's hopefully get this landing zone. Oh crap. Still got a spawn out there. I think we can hit a structure from that. Get our NTBs in there. That actually might be too far south. Yeah. Shift it. But that's also not going to be a structure that really impacts the battle anyways. It's just a company office.
Brigade standing by.
I mean, generally, if there's anything you see in Knights of the Old Republic, then it's a good bet that at some point it would end up in Revan's Revenge. It's not an arrow where you can be particularly picky in the first place. Like I was saying before, the initial plans for the content are fairly limited for each faction. So like a core of 5 space units, 5 ground units, then fighters and infantry. Which obviously you want to expand over time, and there might be some situations where we make up some new designs, but it's not going to be like Thrawn's Revenge where we have 5 trillion units to pick from for everything. Well, like, as far as the weapon types and hardpoint types thing, in point 2, we added the proton bombs and proton rockets, which we didn't have before. There's some places where we use different grades of curvilege that we didn't have before. It's basically when a weapon type is useful for achieving a particular gameplay goal that we have in mind, then that's when we introduce them. So if there are other weapon types that we particularly need or think would be useful either on a specific unit or for part of a broader system change, which will hopefully not be too many of those coming in upcoming versions for space in particular, but that's where we end up putting them in. It's very rare that we just look to add a weapon type for its own sake, but
Beginning construction.
if a ship has something or a fighter type has something, then we usually do end up putting it in.
Beginning construction.
Alright, let's go for Barlock.
How devious, my lord.
Tactical battle imminent.
Only 3 left.
Tanker spotted.
I don't know if Philo's still here.
This used to be a judicial ship, you know.
Choose your
'Cause if he is, then
No problem. Copy that, General.
I can ask him something. If he's not,
Mission
then
is clear.
As you command. Aye, aye. Engaging drive thrusters.
everyone loses out.
Hope this isn't another drill.
Not my
Your
fault.
command. Bearing set.
How devious, my lord.
Jan Dodonna, sir.
Like, I
Jan
could,
Dodonna, sir.
We really
because this is
I've
been a pretty quick one.
Jan Dodonna.
I could launch it as long as no one ever talks about it after the stream. Like, I could
I'll report in later.
just
Dodonna
open the
here.
game and show something.
Dodonna reporting in.
Salutations, my lord. They will be crushed. Consider it gone.
A couple
It's
more
been
hits like
too
that,
long.
she's done for.
It's mostly your stuff, so
I'll decimate them. Good to see you, my lord.
Sir, we've searched the site. So tough.
Salutations, my lord.
Jan Dodonna, sir. I'll report in later.
Salutations, my
not
lord.
all of it. Probably just pick
Jan
one.
Dodonna, sir.
Good to see you, my lord. They will be crushed.
We can't let them escape. Reading you.
Target at maximum firepower.
Vectoring to the enemy.
Salutations,
Okay.
my lord.
Sir, we've searched
Maybe
the
just
site.
Sith so people can see the green units and fewer of the ground units, but some of the heroes.
Salutations, my lord.
Forces have been wiped out.
Consider it gone.
Dodonna reporting in.
Separatist vehicle.
Good to
Alright.
see you, my lord.
So I guess once we're done the campaign, I'll
Commencing attack on
launch
Galactic.
the Very
Jan
Whip,
Dodonna,
Revan's
sir.
Revenge, and
Salutations, my lord.
we'll just go to the test map and look at some of the units, I guess. Not for all the factions.
We really must catch up.
Turn back. Sir, enemy reinforcements.
As you wish, Commander.
Long-range sensor. Reinforcements cancelled.
Consider it history. Closing on the target. On my way, Commander.
Good shooting, sir.
Good to see you, my lord.
That's the way it's done.
But then no one can mention this in like the Discord or anything. Just it never
It's
happened.
been too long.
Knock it off.
It'll just be for the between me and the 162 of you.
We've destroyed the Techno-Union ship. Heavies have been captured here. Engaging drive thrusters. Hold up. Watch your flank.
It's been too long.
The enemy had secondary reinforcements.
Exactly,
for attack
Shadow.
orders.
You got the commander.
It's been too long.
Holding position. Enemy reinforcements
Good
are
to
on
see
their
you,
way.
my lord. Consider it gone.
Incoming!
Good to see you, my lord. The enemy is
So
mine.
tough. Shouldn't be
Are
long
they
now.
gonna retreat?
I'm here.
No, they're not, because we have the
Good to
Cult
see you, my
Defenders. Thank you, Ollie Oil, for the dollar donation. Very appreciated.
No, sir. A couple more hits like that and she's done for. Secondary reinforcements. They just don't learn, do they? Give me a target. Sir, we've lost you on the sensor.
All stations
We'll
ready.
hold this position until you return. Tearing us
Initiating
apart.
combat
Hit
protocol.
the shipyard.
They won't hold up much longer. Battle stations. Ready yourself. My hull is critical. And this is what we call missile destroyer here. Targeting enemy. They won't escape.
We really must catch up. Consider it gone.
At your command. Heading for attack coordinates.
Then it's just that diamond.
Targeting at maximum
Oh,
firepower.
they have the 2 there.
The reinforcements have been cut off.
Good to see you, my lord. Consider it gone.
Any amount is always appreciated.
Good to see you, my lord. I'll decimate them. They will be crushed.
Glad you like the podcast, though.
Good to see you, my
I think
lord.
we're trying to do a bit more of a push with TapCaf. Big X's been advertising it a bit more, trying to bring up the production quality. Hopefully, the episodes 101 through, or 100 through 200, are a new era of TapCaffing around.
Move forward.
All right, and we did want some more vehicles. I'm gonna get some of those vehicles, but I think what we really need is somewhere else for more vehicles. Let's open you up, and we need some parts if we're gonna be making some more factories, like vehicle factories. So heavy on you. We'll get hats and flash blinds and some sabers. What's the force breakup right now? CIS has still 20%.
Let's go.
Construction complete. Construction complete.
So how all those? Let's get some D6s as well. And I think we're good with infantry. Yeah, we have
Construction complete.
a ton of infantry.
Move forward.
That's the legal term for it.
Building under construction.
Brigade standing by.
And we'll get an advanced vehicle factory there.
Get ready to move
We
in.
can get some
Move forward.
heavier units. What are we for artillery? I think we still have 1 artillery... No. I thought we had 2, but we had 1 instead.
Follow me.
Underway, sir. Of course, Your Highness.
I'm gonna grab some probes. So you are now gonna get
Constructing unit.
some of those. You're gonna scout out Barlock. I guess I need 3.
Vehicle in production.
Barlock is not the most defended. Neither is Cola, I don't think. I think any of them... Oh, Protodeca, never mind. That's pretty big. So maybe we'll do Cola before Polani. Polani's actually going to be harder to take. Because Protodeca.
Choose your reinforcements.
I think we're going to be at what? Like, at least episode 140 before we're done NJO.
1, 2, 3.
We're getting to... We just did Death Vector Prime. So for anyone who is unaware, Eckhart's Ladder and I do a Star Wars book club, basically, where we read through... mostly we've done Legends books so far, but we've done a few canon books like Alphabet Squadron. But we just got to the New Jedi Order, so that's going to be... It's basically every week we do the podcast, but every other week we do a book, so we have a bit more time to finish. So we just did Halo last night on the off week, but if it's a 19-book series and we only do a book every other episode,
Let's do this.
then that's going to be basically episode 140 before we finish. And that's if we don't take any detours for the new releases, which we probably will for Brotherhood, the Obi-Wan and Anakin book. There are going to be at least a few other releases that we want to cover as they're happening too. Like, we've been trying to get more guests for the NJO. So I don't know how successful that's going to be overall, but we had Kings and Generals, Elkin from Kings and Generals, as our guest for Vector Prime, which is a history channel. Okay, I think we need to back off there a bit. And let's get the flash blind. We're getting kind of fucked here. Is there artillery back there firing? There is. That's an HAG. So hopefully the flash blind will be able to handle those.
Ready, sir.
Unit destroyed.
En route. Moving to coordinates. Roger that.
Yeah, there's definitely spoilers for books, but they've been out for 20 years, and it's hard to talk about stuff going on without talking about like the context of why it ends up mattering or why it's different from what comes later and what it leads to. So it's so much for the flash blinds.
Form up.
Weapons locking on.
This is not going great. Okay, I think we need... we got the HAG. We really need those other new vehicles. Okay, go in bomb. I think that bombing run helped more than I might have given it credit for. Let's get some clone commandos as well. Get in here. Spiders before they can kill our vehicles. They only have 2 structures here. There's not many garrison structures left for any of them. Don't really need to kill that turret if we can get over to this landing zone. Hurry. Alright, if I still had a flying unit, that'd be helpful right now. See how much of these we can kill. We might be able to get both of them. It should still kill the light vehicle factory either way, but I don't know if it'll get that home. Nice! No more structures. May as well take cover. That should be it for the garrisons then. And then it's just that field base. bring in the ATPTs just to let them have some field experience. Get them all to rank up.
Orders. Flanker scan. Do I look like a droid? End of the scrap heap. For the clone army!
Bombing run.
What do they still have up there?
Awaiting orders.
Are there any units that are running around? There's gotta be some somewhere. Oh, they're leaving. Never mind. Okay. Bombing run.
System control achieved.
Gonna do one final save. Then it's just Cola and whatever the other planet is that I have forgotten. Kalani.
Autoguns online.
Setting course.
Autobots
How
online.
devious, my lord.
Defensive position.
Tactical battle
Building
imminent.
under construction.
Building started.
Really, it's the Proto-Deca, and that's the thing to worry about
Droids
there.
on the objective.
Because it's only the government building for garrisons.
Choose your reinforcements.
Be Droidica.
Safety check complete. Right away. Full steam ahead. Ready to face the enemy, my
You guys should be able to handle the structures.
Missile destroyer reporting in.
In Thrawn's Revenge and the One Planet Starfleet Empire, I can't seem to get ISDs. How can I get them? So you need to have a shipyard on a planet with a level 3 or 4 shipyard. So you don't start off with one of those.
As you wish, Commander.
It's the little number beside the planet that'll tell you the shipyard number, or shipyard level. And it'll also say in the shipyard, like in the top left text, what level shipyard is at a planet. And it'll tell you on the icon if you haven't built it yet. Then you go to the capital shipyard tab, or to the capital ship tab, and they'll be there.
Ready for takeoff. Concentrating fire. Watch your flanks. I'm transmitting the coordinates to you now. Ready for command. Taking the offensive.
You just need to have the right shipyard level. It's not like a special tech unlock or something for the Empire.
Reinforcements have just appeared on Captain here. Bearing set. I've input the coordinates.
Yeah, you do also have to have enough shipyards,
Search the site. My shields are gone. Watch your flanks.
which is 30, I believe. Yeah, 30.
Nominal status. Provide cover. Ready for attack orders. We've got secondary reinforcements. Cannons charged. Good shot. Yes, sir.
In point 2, it'll show up even if you don't have enough. It'll just be locked, but in point 1, it doesn't work that way. They only show up once you have the ship crews.
Vectoring to the enemy. Sir, we've done it.
Why is the Invincible become locked? It basically was a really old ship type that wasn't super actively used. So
Captain here.
we lock it out as some of the more
Status. We got
Clone Wars era units become available.
Commencing attack on gun tower. Vectoring to the enemy. Incoming.
It's a good early game stopgap for them to represent more like Planetary Defense Forces prevalence.
This is the captain. Battle stations. That takes care of that one. Ready to commence.
And then help shift them more into their intended playstyle and roster. What's your favorite faction to play as? I don't have a particularly favorite one to play as right now. The Empire of the Hand's probably my least favorite to play as because it is still so far behind in some of its setup. Like, it does need to be modernized a lot more. So it has the most annoying holdovers. Thank you, Maticus, for the $5 donation, saying, in FTGU, is there a way to build or unlock faction heroes you start with in other modes, for example, Zin, Jardis Kane, etc.? No. The only heroes that are available in in From the Ground Up are the ones that come up through like other story events and like government mechanics, because currently the game doesn't distinguish between the game types. So any that are only available from like starting spawns, they won't be available in From the Ground Up.
Later.
We read you. Issue a command.
Good to see you, my lord.
In the future, we're likely going to remove the ones that are currently available as well, now that we have different entry points for Galactic Conquest. But we'd also, I'd like to have different types of From the Ground Up maps, so like 1 or 2 styles where one has heroes, the other doesn't.
Salutations, my lord.
Your favorite Pelta? Understood. We're moving.
Accelerating now.
The pop cap per planet hasn't really changed in point 2.
Missile destroyer.
It is something we want to do more with in the future. I don't know if it'll be a point 3 thing or beyond that, because right now it's on the Galactic level, it's not especially relevant.
Did you mean to click us? All
Once you've got more than a
Fire,
couple
I
planets,
guess.
it's just
Moving
you're
in. Anyone
pretty much
need
fine.
repairs?
We really must catch up.
Will legitimacy be an FTG? Yeah, like that's a government mechanic. All the government mechanics are currently on in
Consider it gone.
From the Ground Up.
All stations ready.
We were able to disable
Salutations, my
the
lord.
command staff for the Republic
Salutations,
finally,
my lord.
but stuff like legitimacy still applies.
Good to
Which
see you,
again,
my lord.
in future releases, probably be turned off
Decimate them.
until we get like a dedicated mode for it.
Missile destroyer reporting in.
Good to see you, my lord. They will be crushed.
It should be destroyed shortly.
Wasn't the Emperor of the Hand getting a whole ground roster redesign? Yeah, they will, but again, that hasn't happened yet, so
All stations
until
ready.
that's actually done, then they still have a bunch of janky or
Good
older
to see
shit.
you, my lord.
Our engines are destroyed, sir.
Consider it history. Sir, this is for squadron. We're in pretty bad shape out here. Moving out. Unit capacity.
We really must catch up.
Yeah, the CSA does have dreadnoughts.
Training. I recommend we deal with them first. Missile destroyer here.
Pelta frigate here. Us, sir?
It's been too long.
That's
Decimate them.
mostly dead. We can start moving over to the Golans
It should be destroyed shortly. Moving to attack.
and hit them.
Clear the area.
Salutations, my lord.
have been cut off.
Salutations, my lord.
Get us out of here.
I'll decimate them.
Ready for attack orders. Take cover.
I think
Targeting at maximum
they can kill the
firepower.
mean effects.
Reporting in. Critical.
Well, the dreadnoughts aren't going to be great for that. I think we need to send them for the
We should clear the area. All stations ready.
Munificent, and all the VSDs can start moving up.
Cruiser standing by.
It's only what 4 hard points left on it.
More fighters approaching. Training weapons.
Herix, you can hit the Munificent as well. You're not going to be good with your heavy weapons
Ready to
for
commence.
hitting these smaller guys. I think we need the acclimators to be a bit closer, and then they have their like quads. Plus the assault missiles. Being able to lock on is nice. There's a lot of point defense here though, so it'll be a while before any of that actually gets through. Need to use some of the smaller ships to hopefully take them out. And saturate with some of the fighters and bombers.
We're all set here, Commander. Sir, our concentrated fire seems to be having an effect. Missile destroyer reporting in. Initiating combat protocol. We need you to clear the area in order
The
to
Harrow class VSC.
We really
We
must
don't
catch
have
up.
any plans to use that Dark Empire slightly different blob for anything right now.
Good to see you, my lord.
enemy reinforcements have just appeared on long-range
Good to
sensors.
see you, my lord. They will be
So
crushed.
maybe it's something we'll use in the future, but
Targeting enemy. Missile destroyer.
like it's basically just a differently drawn VSD in Dark Empire,
Pelta frigate
rather than anything with a
Yes, sir.
bunch of extra information to work with there.
Yes, sir. Enemy units approaching. Ready for attack orders. We've destroyed the Techno-Union ship.
Good to see you, my lord.
Ready for combat. The war is ours. Hold your position. We've reached the base perimeter, sir. Hold
Oh, X-Wing, yeah.
Plenty of supplies to go around.
Sir, you're falling apart.
Salutations, my lord.
At your command. As you wish, Commander. Watch your missile. We're all set here, Commander.
Like, there's
Oh, no.
only so many more slots for Imperial stuff we have, or so many more unique Imperial units we're gonna need.
Salutations, my lord.
Ready to
Because we just did this whole release focusing on a bunch of different
At your service.
All your squad mates have
Imperial
been
units.
destroyed. Incoming! Our vector packs will missile destroyer reporting.
So unless it's something we decide that like the core Empire needs, then
We've reached the base perimeter, sir.
there's only so many places for
Don't
it.
forget here.
We've got secondary reinforcements en route.
We'll quickly
Try our
try to
best.
take out their weapons.
Salutations, my lord.
Advanced training. You've got a clear shot.
Alright, that's all for them.
I'll decimate them.
That try get away.
They will be crushed.
Chase down that bomber.
We really must catch up.
Okay, this is the entire CIS Navy. Now it's not. Now this is the entire CIS
Consider
Navy.
it gone.
Objective acquired.
Salutations, my lord.
I'm here.
Missile tubes loaded. Cannons targeting.
Target at maximum range.
Missiles locked on. Strike fighter, after him. Sir, we've done it.
Okay, take that Navy. Okay, there we go. The entire CIS Navy can't even take a few missiles. Absolute bullshit. Alright, into Polani.
Move forward.
We got Polani and Kola. And then
Moving in the
we're going to take a little bit of a look at Revan's Revenge. So I'm going to put a poll in chat. Which action do you the most? So I'll leave it up to you. All of you. For which Revan's Revenge faction you want to get a quick little look at after we finish the Galactic Conquest. Am I going Empire State Republic? I don't think we're definitely not going to get to Order 66 and 65 in this Galactic Conquest. Unless we happen to hit the... Yeah, we're not getting to 100 on that. We might get it like right as we... If we did another mission right now or something. Right as we finish the campaign, I think we're going to end at like 98 Senate influence. Make sure that stays open.
Choose your reinforcements.
Let's go south on there.
defensive positions.
Order acknowledged.
Hey. Faithful, move fast. Nearly talking.
And north with the Juggernaut.
1, 2, 3. Form a wall.
What's your favorite Star Wars movie? Either Empire Strikes Back or Rogue One.
Autoguns on
Those are my top two.
Support fire ready.
Right, they're running in the middle of it.
Stay with me, all right?
Just get in.
Go. I got you.
It'll all go much faster with you inside.
Let's do this. Enemy above secure the area.
Well, Sith don't have the most on ground,
Let's go.
and their space stuff isn't done. I think they have...
Autoguns online. You won't be.
I don't think we've shown even the untextured space stuff anywhere.
Going inside. Go forward.
So it's at least finished stuff, jankiest stuff.
Inside.
But
Dividing orders.
Building under construction.
still a decent amount.
We've secured a landing.
It's like none of their space units are textured, but 4 of the 5 are in game.
Autoguns online.
Mandalorians have... we've shown off the 2 finished space units, but none of the ground stuff. There's a lot of. The Republic, we've shown all the grounds, or all the space stuff, but there's 2 new ground units in game.
Turning it off. I've got you. Fine, John. Your eyes look like a droid.
None of it is really set up to be like actually played yet. It's just a test bed for unit assets. But we can look at some of those. Alright, oh, I don't even have the artillery that I could bring. Yeah, make sure you kill the field base. Kind of important. And oh, I was kind of afraid of what was over here. It looked like there was a lot more, but it's mostly just the droids. So let's all head on over there. So can you walk on over there? Could make an Old Republic mod? Well, have I got good news for you. Yeah, we're just gonna get up to the base so we can bomb some stuff. And oh, I think we might even just win off of combat rather than the victory point. Okay, speeders, you're actually better used with your speed, believe it or not.
Enemy reinforcements are on their way.
Alright, get out of there. You don't need to be that far up. You got the bombing run off. Get back to there. They are being a bit of a problem. Well, that's most of the base. I don't think they had anything at the victory point. So I'll just get the speeders up there just to check. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure it's been over 2 years. It's been quite a few years. Because last year we did the Imperial Reign thing, and I think there were 2 years where I did Revan's Revenge stuff, and I think they were a year apart, so it might be like 4 years of announcement.
Construction complete.
Beginning construction.
But it's definitely been longer than 2 years.
Any guns operational?
Of course, Your Highness.
$2019? Yeah. So, it's been a while.
Construction complete.
Let's see. Well, I'll look at that when we're done. I don't think it was 2020. I think 2017 was Fall of the Republic. Because there was the first trailer that I did with like just the AOSW assets. That was a long time ago with like the Kreia voiceover. And then I think I did a video on April Fool's again. No, was it April Fool's? I did a video saying it was real. And then there was another video that I actually did in between those. I'm pretty sure it wasn't for April Fool's, but it was Like it cut off me saying whether it was real or fake. Right, Protodeca versus A6. So what are you doing? You're running pat. They're just. They have no appreciation for 1v1 me winning me in Counter-Strike. Oh wait, they're starting to 1v1 me in Counter-Strike? Oh, this is the Droidica are becoming a problem. You need to stop that. Die, Protodeca. Like, we definitely announced them long before we hit our current level of productivity, because I don't think Oz was on the team or Philoraptor. Between the two of them, that's like 6 trillion models in the last year and a half. Oz doing like 1 trillion space models and Philoraptor doing 1 trillion ground things. COVID really expanded the team. What are you retreating to? Nowhere. Not retreating anywhere. Look at that. We done one. Yeah, that's from the Frasier mission. We're gonna expand it a little bit. Alright. Let's look at our little stat breakdown. Military efficiency, 3. Conquest efficiency, 100. Kill efficiency, 100. Alright, so we are gonna quickly launch into Revan's Revenge. A very work in progress Revan's Revenge, so we can take a look at the Sith, it looks like. So, while that's loading, thank you all so much for the support in reaching March's donation goal. Again, the Lego, the April one is going to be for a Lego stream, which probably less popular. I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, so we hit 40,000 subscribers recently, which is also pretty cool, which means there's going to be a 12-hour stream coming up soon. I'm not sure exactly when, but we'll see. All right, so this is gonna continue on in the Foros campaign with the Sith.
Mission log updated.
Ooh, I should actually give me more credits. We're not gonna make any credits. There used to be more of a map there, but because we started planning the other one, and because of some issues with some of the planets, there's no map there anymore. But we only need to look at some units right now. We're actually starting to work on the first Galactic conquest for Revan's Revenge. We started planning it a little while ago. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna give everyone a bunch of credits. I want to be able to build at least one of everything. So again, you're not going to see like big actual battles here right now. We're just going to look at some of the in-game stuff so that when you see the mod in like a month and a half, you're like, oh, look at how much stuff has changed since then. All right. So for the Sith, which is what we're going to look at right now, we've got HK, Nihilus, Malak, Revan, Krath War Skiff, Sith Soldiers, Centurion, Darafon, Supremacy, and Sith Interdictor. None of the space stuff is textured yet, plus the fighter. The fighter's textured, but none of the space stuff is textured, so it's going to be big blobs of green. But remember, don't mention that this happened anywhere. It's just for you. So no one can know that there was a preview. It's not that exciting because there's not that much.
Mission log updated.
Still stuff.
Recruiting troops.
Vehicle
I mean, the resource malice text actually
construction.
kind of fits because like the red text for the Sith. Why not? The Sith color isn't going to be black, so you can actually read it later. Yeah, there's no one driving the skiff, but who needs drivers? Supremacy, Centurion, Darafon, Interdictor.
Constructing unit.
Assault frigate here.
Constructing unit.
Assault frigate here.
I think the Mandalorians have a Jahivier in space. So we should be able to see the units actually do
Assault
something.
frigate here. Assault frigate here. Orders received.
Which, even with all the stuff being work in progress or less being in, it's still the most complete Old Republic mod in Empire at War, I think.
Awaiting orders.
So here we have the Supremacy,
Choose your reinforcements.
Jahivier,
Roger that.
Interdictor, Centurion,
Course. We're on the move.
little baby Darafons,
Moving ahead.
another Supremacy.
Moving into position. Frigate reporting. Take out the missile launcher. Right away. Cannons armed. Weapons armed. Yes, Commander. Target those lasers. Waiting orders. The lasers are our target.
Dead
Frigate
Mandalorians.
here.
Gotta get in a little. See some of the model detail. Still need to determine what our material setup for some of the Sith stuff is going to be. But yeah, in the scale for Revan's Revenge is basically everything being twice as big as it would be in TR. So we're zoomed in 100% more. So an 800-meter unit in Revan's Revenge would be the same size as an ISD is in Thrawn's Revenge, visually. Because everything's just so much smaller in this period.
Reporting. Moving out.
Choose your reinforcements.
Awaiting orders.
These are the old Sith Trooper models from Ages of Star Wars. They had new ones that we're going to be using.
Acknowledged.
Let's bring in Nihilus. Revan and HK.
Order acknowledged.
Capacity.
Swamp speeder ready. Moving.
Little craft skips. Got some nice little Sith Lords. HKs.
Swamp speeder reporting.
Point 3 is basically the first release where we're actually going to be focusing on any amount of like real revenge development. So in the next like 3 to 4 months, there's going to be quite a bit done here. It'll start actually looking like a playable mod. We've got some of the bones set up now. Gonna destroy the Mandalorian barracks with them. They're basically little OG9s. But yeah, so there'll be like actual previews of properly done
Control achieved.
revenge stuff coming up, including a playthrough when it's ready. But that's just a quick peek at some of what's been happening. So yeah, so thank you all for watching. Thank you, Celestial Vision, for the $5 donation there. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. Thank you again, everyone, for all the support getting to here, all the support in the donation goal for March. And we hit the one, or in the February one, because this is what that's for, or that's what this is for. We hit the March one today, which means there will be another single stream conquest coming up, which I'll put out some polls for. And I'm not sure when the 12-hour stream is going to happen, but it'll be sometime soon. And yeah, so we'll see if we hit the Lego one. I'll put a poll up for what that's going to be as well if we do hit that one.